The two expansion clubs have claimed two of the biggest scalps in the AFL in the last week, and they meet on a chilly, windy day at Ballarat, with Greater Western Sydney playing for a place in the top 8 and Gold Coast playing for a bit more respect as they continue to try and prove they are improving under Stuart Dew. The back end of the season has been tough for the Suns during his tenure, but oh, what a fillip, beating Richmond by 10 points at Docklands last start. And didn't the Giants just remind us of their ability when they get things right? They've mixed their form quite substantially in the last couple of weeks, having gone down to batless Hawthorn at the MCG, only to beat the ladder-leading Demons by 9 points last start. Great to have you with us on ABC Sport. My name is Quentin Hull. This is Grandstand AFL on a day where we have 3 games for you. The Western Bulldogs and Sydney do battle at Docklands in the middle of the afternoon before the round has its penultimate game, with Richmond and Collingwood playing just after 4 o'clock Eastern time. Of course, there is a Monday game over in the West, so not the last day of round 17, but 3 games for you on this Sunday. And boy, oh boy, the fans here are rugged up. This Sherrin's going to be hard to control in the air because it's a very windy day at Ballarat. The actual temperature is in signal digits at 9 degrees, but it feels more like 1 or 2 out there. So it is a chilly winter's day for football, that is for sure. If you didn't catch up with what happened last night, the Brisbane Lions beaten by St Kilda by 32 points on a night where Eric Hipwood looks to have done a serious knee injury. That off the back of wins for Geelong and Fremantle during the day. It's great to have the former number 1 draft pick and Dockers and D's big man Jeff White to join us, along with Michael Price for the call. I'll start with you, Whitey, and your Demons. I'm sure you would have had a good look at that game last week. The Giants, they had to hang tough at the MCG. How are you? Nice to see you. And just how creditable was that win from the Giants last week?
No, it was good. And it was good for them to bounce back after the previous week too, where they were really disappointing. I think it was against Hawthorn, but their defensive structure was really well set up against the D's. And I mean, Melbourne's been priding themselves on the defensive side and how they set up, in attack and defence, and they took it to another level, GWS. So interesting with these blustery conditions. It makes it really challenges, and it really, I think, in these conditions, really highlights who the good kickers are. You have to get your head over the ball. You have to minimise that drop to your foot, and if you want to change directions, you've got to be really careful. So you have to adjust, and particularly goal kickers as well, depending whether you're going with the wind or whether you're going against the wind. So it's going to be really interesting to see what sides, how they adapt, because the wind is certainly going to play a factor. I think you said, Price, it's pretty strong at the moment and very chilly. So, but yeah.
Nice to see you, Michael Price.
Thank you, Q. Good to be here, mate.
And it's one of those days, isn't it, where I'd love your thoughts, Jeff, but it's almost like the natural footballer needs to be brought out. We see so much zone, we see so much structure, the talk of group football, which is needed in 2021 because no longer the back pocket stay in the back pocket, etc., etc. But on a day where the Sherrin's going to carry further or less, depending on which way you're going, it's a bit of that old footy now. So it's a Sunday afternoon at a regional venue where it's cold and windy, and if you haven't grown up rolling your sleeves up and working out the nuances of the day, instead of just playing the structure, well, you're going to have some trouble. You've got to adapt today.
Yeah, that's a finger-breaking day, isn't it, Jeff White? The swirling wind, it feels like 2 degrees, and the wind's going northerly at around about 33 k's. You've got gusts of up to 40. So this could really affect this game. I'm looking forward to see how the Gold Coast respond after their great win last week against Richmond. Can they double up against the side that is, although they're sitting around 9th on the ladder, they are one of the toughest football sides in the league, this mob. They go hard all the time. So it'll be a good measure for the Gold Coast, Whitey. And
not many teams have the luxury of leaving out a player of the quality of Jeremy Finlayson. He's been left out for the Giants at selection. No Jack Buckley after suffer that a season-ending knee injury. But, there's some good replacements coming in. Sam Taylor's a very fine young defender. He's back into the team after overcoming an ankle injury. And Jesse Hogan, just his 3rd game for the Giants, but his 2 starts so far, Jeff, have been very strong, kicking 4 goals in each of his games against Adelaide and Essendon.
They have been, and it just shows how highly they credit him for coming into the side. But I reckon maybe a Finlayson might be a managed sort of thing. I think he's been playing really well this year. He's a quality player, but yeah, there's some strong ins for the GWS.
Hugh Greenwood coming back in for the Suns with Josh Corbett out with concussion. So I think from a competition-wide perspective, the watch is on Greater Western Sydney today. I still don't know where they're playing the Swans next week. And by the way, our listeners throughout News Radio in Sydney, Newcastle, Canberra, who are used to, of course, having the Swans on your radio as well, there is a very quick transition between the 2 games today. So stay with us, because essentially once things finish here for the Giants, we'll take you to Docklands for that coverage of the Doggies Swans game. But yeah, Sydney next week, and then Essendon and Port Adelaide in the next 3 for Greater Western Sydney. If they played their best stuff, they're a chance of winning all 3 games and really putting themselves in top 8 contention. While for Gold Coast, they're back at home against the Western Bulldogs at Carrara next week. So if they are to, this is a live chance for the Suns today to try and give a bit of belief that they don't keep tapering badly at the back end of the season, which has been the case under Stuart Dew so far.
Yeah, it has, and we've spoken about it a few times. But I think what they're, consistency, I think, is what we're trying to look for here. They played extremely well last week. I think it was a really good 4-quarter effort against, obviously, quality opposition in Richmond. So looking the same, I just want to see their defensive structure. The issue that the Suns have is when the ball goes inside their forward 50, they don't set up quick enough, and it's rebound footy, and that's where GWS can cut you apart, because they do that run through the midfield, they do the overlap coming through the corridor, and that's where they can chew you up.
Just saw the toss, and Toby Green, the captain of the Giants, won the toss, and GWS will be kicking to the western end, which is the right of the field as we're looking at it as well. And that is the end that the wind is slightly favouring. When I say slightly favouring, it'll be interesting to see how much it favours that western end. It is swirling and it is cold. It's going to be a very interesting start to the game.
I think it's more so an outswinger, in-swinger breeze, not a downwind bowl express pace breeze as far as end to end. But we'll wait and see. Greater Western Sydney versus Gold Coast, this rescheduled game at Ballarat. It's a cold Sunday afternoon. Hope you can enjoy it with us. Pretty average bounce to start, but Burgess got up to get the tap down for the Suns. Rowell at ground level, monstered by Mumford. Just got a handball away. Taranto applies a tackle, but the Suns get the exit. Hands from Ellis out to Powell. He'll kick it high towards half forward, but going back with the flight, Kelly takes the grab for the Giants at left half back. Just looking out to the terraces, not too many fans in here as Kelly uses that left boot. It does carry a long way on the breeze to half forward through the hands of Daniels. He's going to follow up at ground level to Rove. Hands it to Himmelberg near the boundary. Hand pass to Hopper. Hands it inside attacking 50. Daniels couldn't pick up. Hill gives it to Daniels though. Got a hand pass away and turned over. Desperate clearing kick from the Suns to get out of that scrap. Back to the wing, but into the hands of the Orange.
And they keep going by hand. It gets to Perryman. He kicks it to half forward, bouncing in front of Hopper. Immediately tackled by Bowes. The ball spills towards the boundary line. Sharp gets involved. Bowes again. Tackled by Hopper. The ball stuck underneath. Umpire's having a good look at it. But he'll ball it up on the outer side of the ground.
She's just ping-balling around, isn't it, with that wind? They just have to adapt the players as quick as they can.
The gum trees really being tugged by Mother Nature as ball up close to the boundary line goes over for a throw in.
Big advantage here too. No disrespect against Burgess. He has to be really mobile against Mummy, but Mumford is going to have a big advantage in these stop plays and hit-outs.
Yeah, Zach Smith left on the emergencies list for Gold Coast today. Mumford got to the front of that throw-in, which was a bit shallow. A few of those are going to wander about in the wind too, so to speak, and Burgess sees it over the line. As a ruckman, how do you handle these type of conditions?
Yeah, you just go, well, when the wind is going to the right, it's going to favour that side. So you've got to really adapt and be on your toes as quick as you can.
Throw in on the wing outer side, Mumford versus Burgess. Mumford gets it down decisively. It's cut off by Sharp for the Gold Coast. He gets a handball backwards. Lemons couldn't quite control it. Daniels plays the part of the annoyer, comes in. Sharp gets dumped, umpire says. It's going to be a free kick to Jeremy Sharp against Lockie Whitfield. So he's at right half back, right on the paint of 50 where it meets the boundary line. It's not 15 that came in laterally and found Will Powell.
Thought it was 15.
Well, barely. Barely
I'm with
8.
you, Pricey. I'm with you.
Chips down the outer side, and in fact, it's way past the outer side. The wind's pushed that over the boundary line, so it's out of bounds on the full. Free kick to GWS. Daniels got it 70 from goal. Little chip to Kelly, not the distance. Has to play on. Handball back to Daniels. Runs to the paint of 50. It's a wobbler to the goal square. Collins can't control it. Still loose. Picked up there by Himmelberg. Kick smothered. Himmelberg picks it up again. Dumped to the ground. Loses the ball. Holding the agate. Good tackling there by the Gold Coast. And it's Holman with the free kick.
Chips to the pocket for Ellis. Still no score in the early stages here. Ellis to Miller. Miller back to Ellis. The exit's good to left half back. Kick marked by Ainsworth. He can turn infield and run. Kick infield semi-smothered off a Giant's hand. A chance for Ward. Dives over the ball. Holman's got him. Pack forms on the logo on the broadcast wing. Ellis picks up. Just whacks a hand pass clear of the congestion to half forward. Footy to be won. Sexton buffeted off it by Taylor, the returning defender for the Giants. Kicks it back to the wing, but Lukosius gets underneath to take the mark for the Suns.
He's growing, is Jack Lukosius. Having said that, he just turned it over with an awful kick. Daniels gave the handball back inboard to Taranto. He kicks it inside 50. It was wasted. It was picked off there by Collins, who handballs it back out to 50 to Lukosius. He kicks it up to the wing. Coming back with the fly to the ball. That is a really courageous mark by Adam Kennedy. Just came back and had the weight of the Gold Coast pack coming straight at him. Took the mark. Long kick towards the top of the 50. Ball punched away from Toby Green. Hogan roves. Tackled off the ball. It was with Powell. Now Ellis. They've got outside 50 now the Gold Coast. Rao tracking the ball towards the boundary line. Bumped off it by Isaac Cumming. And we'll be getting a throw in on the commentary side of the ground. I like to see
the Giants, when they get the ball, actually just go in like in the V of the forward 50, just to put more pressure on the Suns' defence. You've got the win with you.
Throwing it right half forward for GWS. No score after 4.5 minutes. Clearance for the Giants here. Sweeping hand pass ends up with Ward at half forward. 60 out. Deep kick. Flies on the breeze, but near side. All the way through for a behind. The first score of the day for the Orange at Ballarat comes almost 5 minutes in.
Suns, on the other hand, they've got to play it like a handball game then when they train, to try and cut through the defence, lower their eyes, little chip kicks, just try and cut through and get up the field.
Jack Bowes brings the ball back in. Short kick finds Sam Collins. He pushes it to the boundary line, but once again, on the breeze, the ball is pushed over the boundary line. Has it been paid as on the full, or no, we've got a hand to it, so it's actually going to be a throw in, but you saw that ball deviate by metres.
Now that we're getting a look at it, down to the western end, obviously the breeze, and that right back pocket / left forward pocket for the Giants. So it's coming across the ground, and we're going to see a lot of footy on that outer side, I think, with a throw in here. Swallows over the top of it, tackled by Mumford, and we'll ball it up once more as umpire Gluftus comes in.
Even that throw in was affected. It dropped a metre or so short.
Tell you what, even though you might have the sanctuary of the stand on the broadcast side, you might not see much footy. The fans who are brave in their beanies and scarves as the ball goes over the boundary line again on that outer side, they're going to get to see the footy. They're going to be rewarded for their bravery because that wind is pushing the Sherrin that way.
Well, we've only played, five minutes, and they're about to have their fourth throw-in.
And here it comes. Burgess gets in front of Mumford, double hands it down to Rao, got rid of the ball, copped a high shot as well, I believe, and the umpire in Alani Glufsa says yes, that is the case. So Matt Rao at right half back, looking left, and now opts to go up the line. Once again, it pushes towards the boundary line. Big fly by Ben King. Off hands, it was well roved there by Ainsworth. Gave it to Swallow, back in board. Will Powell back to Swallow in the corridor. Good use by Swallow, finds Ellis, who stood underneath it. It was a good defensive effort by young Kennedy to spoil. Ball spills onto the logo, towed towards Lukosius. He can't pick it up. The Giants applying the pressure. Now it's with Bobby Hill. He puts in a little short pass to Toby Green. 70 from goal. He's at right half forward. Elects now to play on. Gets onto the right shoe and he goes for home. Oh, indeed. He rides the wind. Toby Green kicks the opening goal of the game. 1-1-7 to the Gold Coast yet to score. That's a measure of if you get it in the slot, Jeff, that's a winner.
What did I say about guys with footy smarts, Jeff?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he was just assessing it up. You could tell he was just assessing where the runners were, what options he had. But, I mean, he didn't really... I feel he didn't really... He sort of caressed a little bit, and he was 65 metres out.
Class.
Just shows you how strong that wind is.
And it just shows you what a smart footballer he is. Toby Green with his 33rd goal of the season, and the first of the day coming 7 minutes in at Ballarat. And this will be, well, one of the only points of the day where the number on the scoreboard is close to the temperature. I think it's a little bit more than 7 at the moment, but it feels very chilly. Giants with the first. A centre bounce, Mumford with the tap down, but rode by Fiorini. His kick smothered by Kelly, stays in the bullseye. Hopper's hand pass doesn't clear. Now Taranto comes away. Giants do get the clearance. Hand pass to Kelly. Deep kick to that forward pocket, advantage by the Breeze out in front of Himmelberg and Collins. And it bounces out of play. 7 inside 50s for Greater Western Sydney. Gold Coast yet to go into the attacking arc.
And I think you're going to see those stats every quarter, Q, in favour of whoever's going with the win.
8.5 played. Giants 1-1. Suns yet to score. Throw in. Mumford in the forward pocket. Taps down for Himmelberg. Hand pass over his head. Didn't find a teammate, but buffed away from Lemons into the hands of Green, who has another snap. And that's up and under and through for a behind. Greater Western Sydney 1-2-8. Leading Gold Coast yet to score on Grandstand AFL through 9 minutes at Ballarat.
It's going to be a lot of work rate from the Suns, particularly when they're going against the wind. They've got to work up the field to get those spares on and work for each other.
Lukosius pops it up to the outer wing. Pack collapses and Phil Davis takes the mark. There's a Gold Coast player down, clutching it at what looks like an ankle there. We'll keep an eye on that. Davis promotes the ball forward. Now there's plenty of movement everywhere. That player is still behind play. It looks like it's actually Hugh Greenwood.
That's his knee, clinched his knee.
Long kick inside 50, off hands at the back of the pack. Gold Coast with the numbers. Oleg Markov cleans up, gives the handball away. Ainsworth kicks it towards half back. That's a great mark by Ben King in the pack. Plays on, gives the handball to Touk Miller. Low spearing ball in the Sexton direction. He gathers it on the bounce. Bounces it with the right foot. It's made 30 metres, but it's actually gone out over the boundary line. No deliberate call or insufficient intent.
Oh, well, actually, one field umpire was going to call deliberate and the other didn't.
Well,
and they've gone for the throw-in.
Yeah, throw-in, 70 metres out, right half forward.
Day over the top of Mumford, taps down to Miller at the clearance. Whistle on play, and it's going to be a free kick to the Suns as Greenwood limps off the field. Ellis plays on, gets tackled, dispossessed, holding the ball. And that's going to be a free kick for Greater Western Sydney. So it's still to go inside attack. The Suns, Taranto with a kick to the wing. Looking for Hogan back in the team. Spoiled away by Ballard, punched out of play. It's the third game in Giants colours for Jesse Hogan, as a forlorn-looking Hugh Greenwood makes his way over the interchange gates on the broadcast side. Day out-positions Mumford for the throw-in on the wing, taps down to Miller, hand pass out the back for the Suns. Ellis put it in the air, Kelly steals it for the Giants, taps it to his advantage, pressured by Ellis but gets a kick to half forward. It drops short and Ballard marks for the Suns.
Ballard goes laterally and finds Sean Lemons. 25 from his own goal, still inside defensive 50.
Straight up the race for Hugh Greenwood.
Interesting to see how that develops. Long kick towards the wing. Once again, Phil Davis monsters the pack, takes a beautiful mark and immediately looks to send this ball back in attack for GWS. Inside 50 now. Oh, that's a great mark, Jesse Hogan. He went back with the flight. Charlie Ballard couldn't find the body. And Jesse Hogan, in only his third game for the Giants, is going to line up for his 9th goal of the year.
Great grab. Good body position too. Fighting back at the pack. Just eyes on the ball.
Got to give away the goals here, Jeff. We'll use your golfing knowledge. What do you think? Outside right?
Yeah.
Outside
right
goal
post, yes.
Right goal post or outside? See how he goes here.
Jesse Hogan starts it very right. Oh, that's incredibly right, but it did curl back, but it would have been almost impossible to curl back that far.
He started at the point post.
Yeah. 139 plays the Gold Coast yet to score.
He almost started that at out of bounds on the full in the opposite pocket.
And it still made it in.
And it swung back for a point. Suns have got the ball inside defensive 50. Hand pass there from Powell to Miller. Hands it to left half back. Lukosius kicks to the wing. Rare foray to this side of the ground, and Burgess takes the mark just before the boundary line. 1-3-0. Burgess kicks to half forward. Day juggles the mark 60 from goal. Suns are a chance with their first inside 50, and they'll get it through Day. Kicking to full forward. Almost a mark there to Ainsworth. He's tackled heavily by Davis on the double grab, and the umpire calls for a ball up, and Davis just gave him a bit of extra carry with a push there on the ground. Yeah. And the boys are just a little fractious as they break away. Thrown in the air, 40 from the Suns' goal. Plenty of men at the coal face. Tom Green, great extricating hand pass to Kelly. Kicks from defensive 50 to get the Giants out of trouble. To the wing, met by Himmelberg. Rides a tackle to get a hand pass there to Perryman. Long kick inside 50. Oh, Lukosius is there. Had a fumble. Hogan arrives to make the pressure, but the cavalry's back for the Suns, and Ballard gathers and chips calmly to Ainsworth. Got to push in the back, but no 50 on D50 for the Suns.
He handballs off to the run of Lukosius. He lopes down the outer side, has a bounce. Oh, it's a bit of a shank off the inside of the boot. It went through the hands of Kelly. Pushed off it there was Flanders by the Gold Coast, and then GWS end up with the ball on the outer side. They're moving it well when they get a chance, and they're looking to go long at all options now, GWS, as it's going to come back inside the corridor. Inside 50, Hogan, the big flyer at the back. Green was front and square, couldn't quite pick it up. It was Tuke Miller who did for the Gold Coast. He turned it over though. Jacob Hopper for GWS. Back inside 50 once again. Hogan with the fly. It's rove there by Holman. Handball off to Jeremy Sharp. He chips it in the Sexton direction. Spoiled by Reid. There's a whistle on play, and it's going to be against Reid. I thought it was a good spoil there, Q.
Chop of the arms, and Reid was away inside 50, but Sexton takes the free kick, slots it to Sharp, who marks it left half back, runs it to the wing. Cute kick is spoiled away by Cumming, and the Giants can come again. Tom Green receives a hospital hand pass from Lloyd and is caught holding the ball. He had no favours given by his teammate there.
They're just got to get it in long, GWS, instead of the Suns have got to play chip footy hand pass. The Giants have just got to get it in there.
And Swallow from the wing kicks to half forward for Gold Coast. In the pack, Taylor. Well, he didn't claim first touch, couldn't be given the mark, got the footy, kick to the bullseye, rove by Lemons of Gold Coast, kicks wide to the wing, and the mark taken by Flanders. It's Greater Western Sydney 1-3-9. Gold Coast yet to score. We've played 15 minutes at a windy, chilly Ballarat.
Flanders to left half forward, Ben King. It was rove by Connor Iden. There was a delicate left footer that found Tom Green, barely to 15. Plays on by hand to Himmelberg. Great tackle. Himmelberg still gets the handball away, but it's cut off by the Gold Coast Holman. Gave it back to Flanders. Tumbler towards 50. Phil Davis for the Giants. He was the spare. He laconically gave the handball over, but it was cut off by Burgess, who tumbles it inside 50. Now it's Ainsworth. Handball to Tuke Miller. Score coming up for Gold Coast. They've got their first goal on the board, and that was good pressure. 1-3-9 plays one straight. The Giants lead by 3 points, and we've played about 15 and a half of the first quarter on Grandstand AFL.
I'm calling early, but I like the way the Suns are playing. They've adapted much better. I think the GWS is still trying to play their style of game, which when they're with the win, just kick it long. Just get it in there. Tire out the defence of the Gold Coast Suns. You're not tiring them out at the moment. Suns are chip. They're using the ball really well. They're in and under. They're clean. They're trying to lower their eyes, which is how you play into the win. I feel that's a 2 or 3 goal win.
Oh, at least.
But that kicking into the wind, that goal just there is huge. So they're playing really well at the moment, the Suns. I feel the GWS have just got to get it in there. They've got to get there, stop chipping it around, just bang it in there, put it in the right spot. You've got Green, you've got some great, for the ball players down there.
Jeff White with you on Grandstand AFL. Centre bounce, clean possession. Burgess of the Suns gives a hand pass to Swallow from the bullseye. Up and under kick without great effect. Was spilled by Lockie Ash at left half back for the Giants. He goes again. He's tackled, got rid of it just. Taranto now mobbed by Flanders and Miller and brought to deck. No prior. Ball up. And it feels almost like a medieval battle for possession and territory here. Just the Suns trying to get that ball forward against Mother Nature. Hopper wins the clearance from the left half back flank for the Giants, but his kick to the wing is intercepted by Bowes of Gold Coast. And the lad from North Queensland, well, he's used to wind playing in Cairns, that's for sure, because Ailey Stadium very windy where Jack Bowes played a lot of his young footy. Kick to right half forward, there's a whistle in the pack, and it's a free kick to King. Too far out to score, 60 out, kicking into this wind to the eastern end. Kicks it to the pocket, and sticky fingers from Holman. Outmarks Davis in a one-on-one right on the boundary. Holman plays on immediately. Chips to the top of the goal mouth. Looking for Fiorini. Has it spoiled away by the defence. Iden does the roving for the Giants. Hands it to Davis. And the Orange are out.
He measures a pass nicely to find Tom Green. Green down the outer wing. Perryman made the lead and he found him there. In fact, it was Lloyd. Lloyd now kicks to left half forward. Jacob Hopper. He's got a man inside 50 running by himself, but he elects to go into the pocket looking for Toby Green. Miskicked as Bobby Hill was saying, hey, what about me? 20 metres from goal. But it's a throw in about 30 metres out.
That's a perfect example. Just get it in the top of the square. You've got the win. Don't try and pinpoint your kicks. Just get it in there. They're still trying. GWS is still trying to play the way they normally play. You can't. You've got to adapt.
They're leading by 3 points with about 18 gone in the first quarter. Tom Green now. Standing start, got the handball away. It's kicked by Himmelberg to the top of the square. Hogan off hands at the back of the pack. Markov for the Gold Coast. Sweeping handball hits Ellis. Oh, he's confronted by Bobby Hill. Got the handball away back to Markov. He's hemmed on the boundary line. It's a dangerous kick to the 50-metre arc. Swallow grabs it. Then he gets tackled. He's got a giant either side. He wrapped his arm around Perryman's head. It was a little confusing there. The umpire decided to split the difference and he'll ball it up on the arc of 50.
7 minutes remaining in this first term, and the Suns doing a good job against Mother Nature and the Suns and the Giants at the moment. No clearance from this stoppage on attacking 50 for GWS. We'll do it again. The inside 50s are 13-3. The score is 1-3-1 straight in favour of the Giants. Burgess got the tap down. Little kick from Hopper doesn't clear the congestion. Hopper goes again, runs into Flanders. Oh, Powell almost ran over the top of him. Got the kick towards the goal mouth. 2-on-2 whistle. All players looking to the umpire. Which way's this one going?
Markov.
It's a free kick to Oleg Markov, the Suns defender, in the face of goal. So another foray forward from the Giants without score. Chip to Sharp in the pocket, and he chips it short to Bowes, who's still deep in defence in the right back pocket here on this windy day at Ballarat, where the Giants lead by 3 points.
We asked the question, how did the Gold Coast going to respond after last week, Whitey, and they've really come back out hard. 21 tackles so far in the first quarter as Holman intercepts the ball on the boundary line. Now they're at right half back. It's a kick towards the wing, juggling effort from Rankin. He might have been dragged down as well. Yes, it's a free kick play on advantage. Flanders, he took off, kicked it to right half forward. That could have been a free kick to Burgess as well for high contact. Ball hits the deck, towed forward. Giants have got it covered though. Perryman now gives the handball back to Hopper. He had time to basically saunter backwards, retreat, but then he's kicked the ball, turned it over on the wing. Markov decides to take off, kick it inside 50. Ainsworth couldn't quite pull in the mark. The ball lands in his hands and he has a Giants player in Taylor all over him. It's going to be a ball up 30 metres out from goal.
That just shows that the defence that's set up behind the ball from the Suns when the Giants coming out, they've just got no exits, the Giants.
Ball up deep in attack for the Suns. No clean clearance for a moment. Now Hopper has a go in his 100th game. The boy from the Riverina got the hand pass to another Riverina boy in Perryman, but turns it over. And then a rushed kick hits the chest of Burgess. Sharp just got onto the end of that loose handball as the Giants were trying to exit and towed it in hope. And it came up trumps with Chris Burgess taking the grab. Now this is right into the teeth of the breeze, this kick. 30 metres out in the right forward pocket. It'll take good skill execution for him to convert here. If he does, he puts the Suns in the lead. He's missed everything with a push across the face and out of bounds on the full in the opposite pocket. That shows you just how tough it is to control the Sharon out there. Free kick for the Giants in the right back pocket.
And that's, as you said before, Whitey, that ball drop, all important. It can really move a lot there. Great mark from Collins to intercept in the wing. Kicks it to 50. Giants have got the numbers. Kelly just pops a hoping handball out there to Bobby Hill, but Rowell cut it off, took it over the boundary line. The Suns have come here to play. As I said, 21 tackles. You've got Tuke Miller on 9 disposals. Brandon Ellis on 9, and Jacob Hopper in his 100th for GWS has got 8 disposals as well. Callum Ward in the ruck against Burgess. Burgess wins. Kelly steals it, gave it back to Kennedy for the Giants. Kicks it up to the wing. Himmelberg spoiled by Ballard. Ball towards the boundary line. Bobby Hill corrals it. Oh, beautiful sweeping handball back inboard to Hopper, who gathered it, slapped it in the path of Tom Green. He couldn't pick it up. Himmelberg enters the fray. This is red hot footy on the commentary box wing. Tom Green back to Hopper, standing start inside 50, and that's a greatly judged mark by Jack Bowes.
It's funny to think that a kid from North Queensland is probably one of the most comfortable guys out there today.
Hey guys, Hugh Greenwood officially subbed out of the game. Rory Atkins is now the medical sub activated for the Gold Coast as the ball gets kicked out of bounds on the full.
I give him a rap and he kicks it out on the full. You'd like to think, you think of the boys that grew up in Victoria and Ballarat, they're used to this, but in Cairns it's pretty windy at Kazali's. Another entry inside 50 for the Giants. Roving is Daniels, right on the right forward pocket. Boundary paid, he snapped that infield cleverly to Harry Himmelberg, who's taken the mark straight in front. And even in these conditions, Double H should give Greater Western Sydney its second goal of the day.
That's just better entry there from the Giants. Just kick it up to the top of the goal square. You never know what you can create. Just stop doing this cheap little, kicks outside forward 50.
The boy from the Goannas in the Riverina. 20 metres out, slight angle right, very strong strike. And he's put it through for the Giants' second. GWS 2-3-15, leading Gold Coast 1-6. 24 minutes played first term. You're hearing it through the national broadcaster ABC Sport on Grandstand AFL with Quentin Hull, Michael Price and Jeff White.
Just a smart inside kick there, going towards the boundary. Just get it to the top of the goal square. But I think the previous kick was the one that set it up. You just got to put the Suns' defence. You've got to put them on. You just got to wear them out, and that's what the Giants got to do. We've only got 2 minutes 50 left in this first quarter. Just get out of the centre and get it into the forward 50 again.
So 9 points though, the Gold Coast would be feeling reasonably happy with that, considering
definitely
the strength of the win.
Well, 16 inside 50s to 5 scoring shots to 1.
So we're back into the middle. Umpire Glufsis has it in her hands and will bang it down. Mumford versus Sam Day. Mumford clearly, but it's going to be a free kick against Day, who tried to shepherd him out of the contest. He looks bewildered with the decision, but it was fairly obvious as Mumford now kicks a long ball top of the square. That's exactly where Jeff White wanted it, and Jesse Hogan, but he couldn't quite drag it in. Front and square was Whitfield, dragged off the ball, picked up there by Will Powell, tackled into the ground by Taranto.
Good leadership there from Mummy. He's usually one that people wrap around the back, that gives a little dinky hand pass. He said, no, I'm kicking it in forward 50.
Thrown up immediately. Mumford back down to the ground level. Swallow belted there. Lloyd just tapped it forward. Toby Green working in a very tight space, had a flying shot on goal. It was only Ballard who cut it off goalkeeper style that stopped it being so. He plays on, kicks it to right half back. Big pack of players, beautifully roved by Flanders. He got the ball away. It was incorrect disposal. It was taken there by the Giants, but there's a whistle on play. It's going to go back to the spot there. Is it going to Kelly or against him? No, it's going to go to Taylor. No, Ash will start again. Lockie Ash. Just off play there, with the tackle was good, and the handball was in fact not a handball.
So Lockie Ash, he's a long way from home, but bereft of options, might give it a ride here. Oh, wow, it takes a bend right to left, right to the goal line, and Hogan. No, it was Lloyd claiming second bite there. Didn't control it through. It's a behind.
Didn't that turn a lot?
Oh, wow. I can see it swing from the pocket back to the goal square. And just as well, Collins was there to get a touch. A behind of the Giants, they lead by 10 points.
Lukosius goes to right half back. Once again, the ball gets pushed violently towards the boundary line by this harsh wind here at Ballarat. Comes off hands, though, and it's going to be another throw in.
King and Holman have been good down the line. That's the only way you can gain meterage, is to actually, might be not getting on the scoreboard, but with stats-wise, but they're getting it down to the ground. From the restart, Tuke Miller gets the clearance. Handball now to Sam Flanders. Long kick down the line. Giants have got it covered, though. Oh, no, they don't.
Coleman popped in between two of them, Q. Stole the ball, wheeled onto his left.
Big chance late in the quarter. Kick to half forward. Again, sits on the breeze. Taylor gets underneath for the Giants. Can't mark on defensive 50. They swarm in at his feet to lock it up. And Rankin's at the bottom of that for the Suns. 65 seconds to quarter time. Mother Nature and the Giants holding the Suns at bay in this first term. Mumford palms down beautifully for Kelly, pressured by Swallow, but Kelly gets a kick. It's out of bounds on the full. Again, the breeze pushing it to the terraces on the outer side. And about 65 out on the right half forward flank the Suns for another entry.
Geez, I'd love to see the pressure gauge from the Suns based off this quarter. Ooh.
25 tackles for the quarter. That's not bad, Whitey. That's good pace.
Powell's going to kick it from 60 towards the goal mouth. Oh, a one-handed juggle second time. Yes, payday. Got his right mitt to it, then his left mitt, and then I think probably arm chopped, preventing him controlling the mark. So mark or free kick to Sam Day, and this is the same spot where Burgess couldn't score. It looks elementary. It's 45 degrees right, 30 metres out.
And good for him. He's in the ruck. He's gone into the forward line. He's taken Mummy in there. So good, being proactive.
Important kick late in the quarter. Can Day negotiate? Mother Nature. Well, it's a better effort, but again, the win. Hooks it across the face.
Wow.
For a behind. Greater Western Sydney 2-4-16 lead, Gold Coast 1-1-7. 9 points the lead to the Giants late in the term.
I know you love a good golf analogy, Whitey, but that's like me off the tee, champion. It's got the nicest hook you've ever seen. It comes out for the Giants from the clearance here. Taranto got a handball away. It was cut off by Powell, tackled into the ground, and there it goes. It is the quarter time siren here at Ballarat. It is the Giants by 9 points. 2-4-16 plays 1-1-7. There's a small fracas in the middle of the field. Just a little bit of push me, shove you. The goal scorers for the Giants, Toby Green with a monster to start with, and then Harry Himmelberg. And Touk Miller, the single goal scorer for the Gold Coast Suns. As there's a few words being spoken to between Phil Davis and
well, we get him on the Grandstand podcast. We'll have to ask him what he's yapping about there, Phil Davis. He is very vocal with Brandon Ellis next to him there as that pair just have a good old natter before breaking up to go to their huddles at quarter time. A reminder, this is the first of 3 games that we'll have for you on Grandstand AFL today. Next up, it's the Western Bulldogs and the Sydney Swans at Docklands. If you're with us on News Radio through New South Wales and Canberra, we'll take you to that game as soon as we finish. And of course, most of the games are available via the AFL website. Just look for the ABC Worm and you'll be able to pick up the call not only of that game, but also Richmond taking on Collingwood later on today at the MCG. It's quarter time at a windy and chilly Ballarat. Greater Western Sydney 2-4-16 leading Gold Coast 1-1-7. You're hearing it all on Grandstand AFL.
Celebrating NAIDOC Week across the ABC.
Hi, my name's Craig Quartermain. My dad is a Wagglekite Nyunga. My mother is a Bunjima woman from the Pilbara. Let's just say I'm from Western Australia. NAIDOC Week is important to me because it's a starting point. It's progressed. It started off as a day, now it's a week. Hopefully we're going to get to a point where we won't need one because our presence will be constant.
Celebrating NAIDOC Week. Find out more at abc.net.au/Indigenous.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Coat towards Lukosius. He can't pick it up. The Giants applying the pressure. Now it's with Bobby Hill. He puts in a little short pass to Toby Green. 70 from goal. He's at right half forward. Elects now to play on. Gets onto the right shoe and he goes for home. Oh, indeed. He rides the wind. Toby Green. Burgess who tumbles it inside 50. Now it's Ainsworth. Handball to Touk Miller. Score coming up for Gold Coast. They've got their first goal on the board and that was good pressure.
Daniels right on the right forward pocket. Boundary paid. He snapped that infield cleverly to Harry Himmelberg. 20 metres out. Slight angle right. Very strong strike. And he's put it through for the Giants' second.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
No matter where you are, I hope you're enjoying ABC Sports coverage of this Sunday of round 17 of the 2021 season. My name's Quentin Hull. Certainly feeling like we need the old thermos, the thermals as well. It's like one of those days at regional footy where if you can drive the car up to the fence to watch, you're not getting out, only unless you have to have a comfort break and maybe get a pie at half time. But for the rest of the day, you're sitting in that car and just tooting the horn when your team kicks a goal because it is so blowy, it is so cold out there. And if you are one of those people who might be at country footy around the place and listening somewhere, good on you. Give us a shout out, 0437 774 774. Greater Western Sydney, 2416, leading Gold Coast 117. You remember those days, Jeff? I mean, you sort of grew up a bit more in the city. I'm a regional boy, so most of the grounds that I was able to go to, you're always able to drive the car up to the fence, and toot the horn.
No, that's it. Yeah, I grew up in Frankston. That was very similar. But I remember my first ever state game was at Ballarat, and it was ice on the whole entire ground.
Wow.
Ice covering.
As in,
ice covering.
Yeah, frost.
They put the heaters out today for the AFL players. But yeah, that was my first ever state game as a 14-year-old playing in Ballarat. Icy cold, but this is
still
what
dominated though, didn't it?
Probably not. I was very inconsistent as a junior there, Pricey, but I feel that the Suns won that quarter, not on the scoreboard, in their pressure, the way they were able to adapt to the weather. I don't feel that and it'll be interesting to see how they go this quarter. I reckon it's an opportunity for the backs now to sort of gather their breath. The as you said, Q, the ball is in the one end of the ground, so this is an opportunity for them now to get it in there, and I don't think the Giants capitalised on the actual how strong the wind is. They were still trying to play their footy, and one perfect example is obviously Green took on, got it in there, kicked the goal. That's what they got to do, but it'll be interesting to see how the Giants played this quarter.
Hopper had 11 disposals to start his 100th game, the boy from Elite Witten Crows. Kelly with 8, Himmelberg 7 for the Suns. Miller again leading the way with 10 disposals, Ellis with 9 and Sharp with 8. Inside 50s, as we were talking about the term, that was the major stat. 18 to Greater Western Sydney and 7 to Gold Coast.
With those inside 50s, Q, 5 shots from 18 for the Giants makes it 28% efficiency inside 50. Not good. And the Gold Coast 3 from 7 at 43%. So I agree with Whitey. I reckon the Gold Coast won that, not on the scoreboard, but it's almost a moral victory against the wind.
And Rory Atkins is into the game for Gold Coast because of Hugh Greenwood having an opposition player fall across his right knee in that first term, so he's been subbed out. Second term gets underway. Now it's the Suns with the wind.
Umpire Gloufsis bangs it down. Good bounce too, and it's Mumford who gets it down immediately. Hopper versus Rao. That's going to be an interesting duel. Ball pops out to Touk Miller. Immediately kicks it inside 50. Davis roves it nicely, just tumbles a ball back outside. Burgess bangs it back in and then gives it back to Davis. A little bit of force and backs here. Phil Davis starting the game well. And the kick.
Across the face of goal, almost conceded to behind.
It slewed off the side of his boot. And
the wind got it too.
Haynes got it. Got the ball back. Tumbling kick, just escaped the defensive 50. You can see those kicks falling short from the Giants, and the ball stuck between Lemons and Toby Green. 55 out, there'll be a ball up.
Speaking of cars being parked at the fence, you wouldn't want your car parked anywhere near those gum trees on the outer side. They are all. There's got to be a limb come off there at some point today as we see another mess of men from the restart. No clearance. Ball to be thrown in the air once more at half forward for Gold Coast, attacking the right of screen. Burgess taps down, it bounces back to him. Little toe poke up and down the mine shaft. Fisted away in the pack by Cumming. But roved by Rankin of Gold Coast. Hands it outside 50 to Ellis. Almost missed his boot with the kick. Picked up by Iden. Got a hand pass there to Kennedy. To the pocket for Haynes. His exiting kick is very wide. Will be lucky to stay in. Daniels led. Powell spoiled. And the boundary umpire is going to throw it in on the right half-back flank for the Giants.
You just see, if you looked at the heat map, Jeff, it's just all of the players in and around this
one area.
Throw in. As Mumford knocks it down, Tom Green to the run of Lockie Whitfield, lowers the eyes. It's a nice kick. Good spoil there by Collins, though, away from Hogan. Front and square, Will Powell got the handball to Lemons, couldn't control it. Powell came back in and helped out, gave it to Rowell, then by hand to Swallow. Long kick inside 50. Haynes will track it back towards the boundary and rescue the situation. There was no Gold Coast player available, and Phil Davis has it now, right on defensive 50 and playing on.
Has some space to run through the flank, then sets it high, and again it'll drop like a pin and gets pushed out of play, out of bounds on the full.
Yep.
That's getting pushed a couple of metres, surely. Now.
Big time.
They got to start, when they're coming, they got to start kicking it pretty much to the wing.
Lemons injects for the Suns, long to half forward beyond the pack. It took a touch, goes out of play, throw in 40 from the Suns goal. Greater Western Sydney 2-4-16, Gold Coast 1-1-7. No score through 2.5 minutes of this second quarter. Quentin Hull, Michael Price and Jeff White bringing you the action from this blustery day at Ballarat. Again, the boundary throw-in doesn't get to the big ruckman. It's tapped back out of play. And Jeff, surely the adjustments can be made by now if you're in the ruck.
Yeah, you do. You
got to be shallow.
Yeah, you've got to. But they're trying to tussle. Mumford's trying to get front spot. Burgess is trying to weave his way, so there's a bit of an arm wrestle going there as well.
It's a pretty good hoik back into play. Mumford taps down boundary side, picked up, and Perryman hacks it from the pocket to half back. And Ballard fists the pack to thump it out of play to keep it in the Suns' attacking zone. So another boundary throw in here again. All on that outer side, as I said, Pricey. If you're brave enough not to be in the grandstand and out there on the outer side in your beanie and 4 layers, you're getting rewarded with the pill in front of you.
Yes, exactly, especially if you've got that nice thermos as well, full of some nice warm stuff. It'll be Kelly now for the Giants. Get the handball cut off there by David Swallow, puts it inside 50. Good spoiling effort. The Giants are really on it there. Pops back outside 50. Brandon Ellis standing start, and then Haynes reads it as it just carries the pack. The players aren't recognising that from the Gold Coast at the moment. It's carrying the pack, but it'll take a few minutes to adjust. Both sides and not paying, were not getting full value for their shots inside 50 as it comes out for the Giants. Turned over there, Ellis. Well done, Tuke Miller. Wheeled around, kicked it to the top of the square. Roving was Rankin, got through traffic. Can he get it onto his shoe? He does. It's straight up in the air, though. Haynes with the sit. Spoils. And takes it over the boundary line in the left forward pocket. There will be a throw in.
So, already as you'd expect, that inside 50 stat is swinging the other way. 7 inside 50s for the Suns in this term. Giants yet to go into attack. Throw in the forward pocket. Burgess has a fumble, can't gather for the Suns. Haynes is there to see it out of play once more.
And this is where the forward line structure of Day and King, you just got to stay back. Don't creep up the field. Allow yourself to stay back so you can spread their defence.
Thrown left forward pocket for the Suns. Burgess to the front of Mumford. Taps down Kelly. Tackled by Miller.
Already
saw you on the tweet last week, Tuke Miller, after his big game against Richmond, Jeff, saying that all Australian selectors take note. We've been speaking about him, and in this part of the footy world with these two clubs, they know what it's like. You've got to almost be twice as good to get recognised. Whitfield tries to crash through, and he'll get reward, high contact running into Rowell. Now the umpire bought it, and here's a chance for Lachie Whitfield to get the Giants out of this back pocket quandary.
He's going to play on. Gets onto the right foot. Once again, it's pushed towards the boundary line. Charlie Ballard, exceptional in the air. He's got great hands, the South Australian. And takes the mark just forward to centre wing out of side. He's going to kick long. Inside 50. It's in the King direction. He basically leant underneath the ball. At the back of the pack was Kennedy for the Giants, slung over the boundary line by Sam Day. A couple of Giants not happy with it. Sam Day's wondering what the fuss is about. Nonchalantly walks off as the boundary umpire's going to throw it in.
Just playing big.
Just playing big. Sorry, guys, I was 20 kilos heavier. Didn't mean it.
Throw in with the Suns still in attack down at that western end. Sexton hand pass out the back. Lightning hands from Ainsworth. Snap on goal is high, and again tugged by the wind out of bounds on the full. David Swallow just getting it to his boot as quickly as he could, and still no score in this second term. We've travelled 6 minutes. Almost like, you need to set up camp down in front of the scoreboard down there, Pricey, down at that western end. Here's Haynes with the kick in. That works. Marked by Lloyd at right half back.
Yeah, 8 inside 50s to the Gold Coast. The Giants haven't got it in there as yet. Now Lloyd's at right half back. He's going to kick it to that outer wing. He's going to kick it over the fence.
You just can't be precise. You just have to play possession footy. Just
Is that 5 or 6 out of bounds on the full to the terrace on the outer side?
They're not adapting.
They're kicking it too close to the boundary line. Simple as that. And
you can't pinpoint it. And he's trying to hit a player that was standing pretty much on the boundary line.
So Brandon Ellis now has it for the Gold Coast. Wheels around onto the right. Mumford spoiled by Burgess. Free kick on play. It'll go against Burgess, and Mumford will copy himself a free kick. And you get a few little boos. Oh, Mummy.
He's got enemies everywhere, Mummy.
He's created a few, hasn't he, in his time?
Giants again to the outer wing, but Ballard gets to the drop to take the mark for the Suns. He's going to go for something different here for the reset, trying to get to this attacking side of the ground, well, by going backwards to Collins. He kicks it back to the edge of the centre square for Powell. Bit of space for him to play on, so chips it inside 50. King, the target, nudged under the ball. Fisted to ground level by the Giants defence. Crashing through Hopper, takes them on, got tackled. Is that Pryor? No.
She does a great tackle from Burgess.
And he wrapped him up.
Fantastic.
And we'll see a ball up on attacking 50 for Gold Coast. Still no change to that quarter time score. Giants 2-4-16, Suns 1-1-7. Another mess at the foot of that stoppage and a ball up. A few Suns fans making their voices heard here on what is a home game for Greater Western Sydney. Doubt they'll be getting home for the rest of the year. If you're listening to us in Sydney, be patient, be safe. Thanks for your company on ABC Sport. Hope we're bringing a smile to you as Hopper gets a hand pass to Tom Green, and the Giants do get an exit from half back. A bounce to the middle of the ground from Tom Green. Lowers his eyes, chips to Himmelberg, 60 from goal. Best part of 2 kicks from there into the wind. He slots it to the pocket. Whitfield, great courage. Back with the flight, took the front on contact from Bowes and marks brilliantly in the left forward pocket. Gets up a little dazed.
He is dazed, isn't he?
Well, I wonder whether he'll be able to take his kick. Certainly in, this sporting part of the world. Giants and Suns fans, you've probably watched a bit of NRL. I doubt he'd be allowed to play the ball without having an HIA if he was in the NRL, Lockie Whitfield. But they're going to let him have this kick. He's looked wobbly. Was that the wind just blowing him over, Jeff?
He is slight.
Left forward pocket, he's going to have to start this hard right and let it blow back towards the goal. He's pushed it through. Great kick from Whitfield. In fact, he started it near side. My apologies, I got that all wrong. Lockie Whitfield didn't. He gave away the goals near side, and it was to fade left to right. Giants with their third, they lead by 15 points at 3-4-21 to 3-4-22 to 1-1-7.
Just watching the replay here, just the elite running of Whitfield. The ball was, there was an uncontested possession on the half back line. He was basically in line. He was parallel with that contest. Just continue to run up forward, and that's what they got to do. You've got to have players that are willing to run, the uncontested and unrewarded running, obviously rewarded just then, but you've got to take that space because it creates space behind you, and he was rewarded with a fantastic mark and great finish.
10 inside 50s to 1 for the quarter in favour of the Gold Coast. Giants with their first inside 50, 1 goal.
Very pertinent stat, Pricey.
Mumford and Day. I'll give that one to Day. Callum Ward tackled by his opposite number in Fiorini now. Ball stuck underneath. And we'll do it all again. Tim Taranto, the last to come up. Umpire throws it up now. Mumford from the behind position gets it down. Tuke Miller intercepts though. Sweeping handball out wider. Finds Jeremy Sharp. Long inside 50. Good spoiling effort. Taylor front and square. Sexton immediately tackled by Sam Reid. The 2 Queenslanders. And the ball will be balled up 30 metres out. To the Giants by 15 points.
Ball tossed in the air. Mumford taps down boundary side for the Giants. Kelly does enough to fumble his way over the boundary line to earn another stoppage. 11 entries without a score for the Suns in this term. 1 for the Giants and a goal to Lockie Whitfield. 3-4-22 to 1-1-7. Ball tossed in. Goes beyond the ruckman, out the back, a chance for Ward, can't gather. Well, he had Rao without the ball. Ump said no, play on. Lemons picks up, he's tackled. And we'll have another ball up. Gee, I thought Matt Rao was a bit stiff there.
Bit held there, wasn't he?
Thrown up again. Day and Mumford engage. Ward gathers, Miller grabs him. And another stoppage. How many tackles for Tuke Miller? He's got 8 tackles already, 9 with that one.
He's a machine, is Tuke Miller. He's already got the 13 disposals as well as
He'll
the ball
get
gets
as many
thrown up.
tackles as Cameron Smith. And I'm speaking not the golfer, of course, the Melbourne Storm, an Australian great.
Ball thrown up at half forward for the Gold Coast, peppering in and around the 50 but not scoring as Miller puts it back inside 50. Sexton did well to get rid of his opponent. The ball spilled in front of him. He can't gather. Now there's troops arriving for GWS. Taylor got belted off the ball by Holman. Absolutely crunched.
And then Iden's given away a free kick.
Yep, Connor Iden came in and gave Sexton a high one as well. Not long after that, umpire Gloucester said it'll be a free kick to the Gold Coast Sun. 30 metres out, but he's on a very tight angle to the right. He's going to have to aim for the behind post here almost.
I thought it was holding the ball there from tackler was Holman again from behind, but rewarded now with a free kick.
Such a tough kick. He's going to have to aim such.
He'll have to aim
this
this
for
for
the side. Yeah.
the behind post. So he's kicked this left, and it's going to go lefter, if that makes sense. One behind. 3-4-22 plays 1-2-8. It's 14 points the margin in favour of the Giants. We played 12 and a half of the second quarter.
He's Michael Price on Quentin Hull. Jeff White, your analyst here on this cold day at Ballarat on ABC Sport. No pressure on the mark for Perryman to run out of the goal square. Kicks long to the outer wing. Toby Green the target. Spoiled away though by Lemons. And Green got in his back. It'll be a free kick for Sean Lemons in the middle of Eureka Stadium here at Ballarat. Another entry for the Suns coming up. Can they find a major? It's a high ball which will drop like a pin 20 metres out. Back of the pack through the fingers. Giants with the numbers. Haynes has a fumble. Holman with the tackle. Rankin kicked off the ground into the pack. Picked up by Sexton. And he does snap the goal that the Suns desperately needed. We don't have the bugle here, but we've got the roll of the drums. Giants 3-4-22. Suns 2-14. We've travelled 14 minutes of the second term.
Just a good kick from Lemons. Just not going sideways, just get it in the middle, see what happens, put them under pressure. You can see the Giants defenders there got a little bit nervous going back and allowed the mistake. And a good finish there by Sexton on his non-preferred, but just get it in there. Get it in there.
You're creating the confusion. Have a look when you said Haynes and Reid there. They both sort of went yours.
Yep. Well, what's the inside 50s at the moment? It's a huge
20 to 19. So
look at the amount of effort that the Giants defenders are putting in play at the moment.
Well, the thing about it is we now know that obviously Gold Coast are going with the win, so they've already erased that differential, and we're only not even halfway through this quarter. Clearance for the Giants from the centre bounce. Kick goes wide to the wing, but Lukosius is there to pick it up for the Suns. Toe poke, the advantage to Swallow. Well played. His left foot kick just gaining ground. Smart footy. Mark taken by Ballard. Hands it off. Inside 50 coming up for the Suns. Deep to the pocket. Haynes is able to punch it away from Atkins, the scub. Picked up by Sexton. He's tackled. Stolen by the Giants. Timely hand there from Cumming. The exit, though, is poor. Fiorini had a chance, dropped it, played tackler and Lloyd, who got a hand pass to Hopper, gives it to Toby Green. He's away on the outer side.
He doesn't usually waste it. This time he kicks it long, looking for Tom Green, and Ballard chips in front, takes the mark. He retreats to the half-back line to find Jack Bowes. They want to transition it to the commentary box side. Bowes, the centre half-back, Lukosius. He's got Tuke Miller running for him, finds him in the corridor. Miller straight down the middle, inside 50, past Atkins. Taylor for the Giants gathers, hooks it around his body. It bounces outside. Giants still with a chance, beautifully gathered by Himmelberg. The handball to Hopper in close quarters. Taranto bounce past to Lockie Ash. Tackled there by Swallow, but he gets it back to Himmelberg. Now a bounce kick to the wing by Himmelberg. Little fancy. Didn't want to play havoc with the wind, obviously. Cut off by the Gold Coast. Ellis has got it now. Could have copped a high one. He's turned it over. Giants on the wing. And now the mark's taken there by Charlie Ballard. There is a lot of pressure in this game. 16 tackles to 12 just in this quarter.
Well, we're at a regional venue on a windy day. It's got a bit of that really earthy grassroots feel about it. Markov has a couple of bounces across half-back. Good kick to half-forward, marked by Burgess, 60 out. Kicks it to the pocket. King's on the lead. It drops at his feet. He's able to gather. Hand pass infield. Well, there's a whistle on play. It's a free
called
kick.
That a throw.
Oh.
The umpires called that a throw.
A free kick against King. I thought that was a handball, but umpire Gluftus thought otherwise, and this will be a free kick to Phil Davis, is it? He's saying, is it mine? No, it's not his.
Oh,
it's going to be Taylor's.
That could be the worst umpiring decisions in 2021. Actually, it's the gold medalist so far.
Taylor, well, it was going out, and then the wind got it, Jeff. And it pitched in the field of play into the shins of Collins, and ricochets out of play. So it is out on the full, but not as you were thinking, Jeff. Free kick to the Giants, just forward of left half back for Taranto. They lead it by 8 points, the Orange.
How unlucky was Collins there? Taranto long down the wing. Mumford gets underneath. There was a great punch there by Collins, who just destroyed the pack and killed the contest, flipped the ball over the interchange gates.
That's in that situation. They've got to get Himmelberg and nice. It was good to see Mummy just get down the line. If there's a chip and you can chip it through and gain some more yardage, do that. But down the line is a bailout. You need those big guys there.
Throw in commentary box side. Callan Ward in the ruck gave the ball back to Tom Green. He kicked it towards half forward. Jesse Hogan couldn't make ground enough. It bump ball in front of him, picked up by Swallow, handball to Flanders, immediately tackled there by Ash. Ball underneath the pair of them. Daniels involved, and we'll get a ball up as you see Shane Mumford having a bit of a rest on the bench, sucking in the big ones too, the big fella.
Gee, they're going to have to... it's almost like their prop forwards going into scrums, the ruckman today. So many restarts. Can they find that repeated effort? Ellis over the ball, no free kick. Tom Green got into his head. Picked up by Kennedy for the Giants. Rare inside 50, rush kick. Himmelberg's got 3 around him. Toby Green picks it up. His kick semi-smothered. Miller underneath it, tackled by Himmelberg. And it's going to be a ball up. And in front of the commentary box grandstand, Lockie Whitfield looks like he's headed to the rooms. I wonder if that's for a belated HIA. It'll be an interesting one. Here's Toby Green, though, from the stoppage. Got it to his boot. There's a goalkeeper back there. The kick pitches in front of Bowes. He saves it in the last line for the Suns. Hand pass to the left back pocket for Sharp. We'll give it back to Bowes. Bowes on defensive 50. Chips around the boundary. Cleverly done. Marked by Sexton, who's a long way from home on the left half-back flank for Gold Coast. Kicks to the middle of the ground. Marked by Lukosius. Can they move it quickly forward here? High ball to attacking 50. Goes beyond King and Taylor. Out the back, Holman arrives, can't pick up. King has another go. Hand pass to Atkins. A dribbler from the sub is a goal! Very cleverly done from Rory Atkins. He's rolled that along the deck from 20 metres out, just his second goal as a Sun. And it's a 2-point ball game at 3-4 to 3-2. Giants in front, 19 and a half minutes played, second term, Jeff White.
You love that from a 202 centimetre key forward, just below his knees. There was 3 Giants players there. He got the ball, had his head over the ball. Hand pass, give away from his goal to Atkins' goal. Just sensational work there by King. Just creating that structure, and that's really important when you have when you're going with the wind and you've got tall targets. You don't want to get sucked up to the ground too much. You want to have that structure so you're able to have a contest, and that's exactly what happened in that situation.
Clever footballer's goal, Jeff.
Clever footballer's goal. Yes, that's right. And just going through the middle, Lukosius, good kick, gain that meterage.
And didn't try to overkick it too.
No,
that's the thing.
Put it where the teammates were.
So from the middle, Callan Ward once again involved in the ruck, undersized, but then again so's the Gold Coast with Burgess, and it comes out to Miller. Miller handball to Flanders under pressure. He gets it inside 50, off the hands. Rankin picked it up, gave the handball to Atkins, but he was tackled beautifully by young Kennedy, Adam Kennedy.
They've given that holding the ball.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was a good tackle.
That's the only thing hot here today.
Didn't have a lot of prior opportunity, did he? Kennedy kicks it out to Ward. Ward in front of Holman on the outer wing. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Can you feel your toes?
Yeah.
It's a bit like that. It's one of those days. Ward's got it on that outer side. He's going to kick it. It again sits up in the breeze and right onto the chest of Fiorini. Takes an uncontested mark. Hands it to Sharp. Straight out of 1978 with that look. He kicks it towards the pocket over the head of the pack and it rolls out of play.
That's not a bad kick, actually. If you haven't got the structure in play, just give yourself an opportunity to have a stop play.
I like Jeremy Sharp. Looks like he's got a bit of game about him. And another stoppage for the Suns in attack here. Hoiked into play. Mother Nature does its bit. Oh, well, Burgess just pushed his opposing ruckman under the ball. No free kick. Half a chance for the Giants to get clear. Picked up by Taylor on the deck. His kick is smothered. It's on attacking 50 for Gold Coast. Atkins hand pass stolen by Lloyd of the Suns. Gives it to Hopper and now to Kelly. He's got a bit of space. Bounces his way through half back. Hands it to the flank though. The kick from Taylor. It's going to be a turnover to the wing. Met by Bowes. He's accosted by Kelly. Bowes runs boundary side and kicks it poorly around the boundary line. And it's marked by Perryman, forward of left half back for the Giants. Score check with about 6 minutes left in the second term. It's Greater Western Sydney by 2 points.
It's a long kick over centre wing. Jesse Hogan made it to the front position, spoiled by Will Powell. Ball under both of them as the umpire comes in and says we'll ball it up just over centre wing on the commentary box side. 19 inside 50s to Gold Coast to 2 to GWS in this second quarter as Callum Ward gathers the ball for the clearance. He's tackled through the interchange gates there by Burgess. Dumps him unceremoniously close to the bench and we'll get a throw in.
That's why he's in the side, Burgess. His second and third efforts are really, really good.
And just bringing a little bit of that good, hard pressure that you need in days like this, especially. From the ruck contest, Ward beats Burgess to this one, slaps it into the path of Fiorini. He's immediately tackled by Jacob Hopper. And we'll get another ball up on centre wing commentary box side here at Ballarat. It's the Giants by 2 points.
G'day to Annie in Chile, Canberra. Loving the country feel reminds me of driving my lads to far distant ovals, being a goal umpire, if it was my turn. Thank you, Annie. Great to hear from you on 0437 774 774. Ball back over the boundary line on this western side of the field. 2 points the diff in favour of the Giants. Burgess clearly got the tap down over Ward. Ground level. Hopper tries to crash through. Fiorini had him once and twice. Ump let them go. Picked up by Taranto. He got a toe to it. It's still on the wing. Fisted to ground level near the logo. Ellis crashes through. Great hard ball get. Hands it to Sharp. Sharp hands it to Powell. Kick to the edge of the centre square. Space for Markov to gather. Inside 50 coming up. How's the kick? It's deep to the goal mouth. And at the back of the pack. Oh, he almost hit Rankin in the jaw and he dropped it. At the back, cleared by the defence of Perryman. His tumbling ball goes out of bounds. And there was sufficient intent, Jeff. It's going to be a throw in at right half forward for the Suns.
I reckon when both sides are operating at low 60s as far as disposal efficiency, you'll let those go with the swirling wind as well. Still, it's a 2 point ball game. It's fascinating to watch. Old school footy as Callan Ward gets rid of Burgess in the ruck. Takes the ball, hooks it around his body. Hogan couldn't take it, spoiled. Ballard, he was taken without the ball, nothing doing. It ends up back in his hands though. He now chips it into the path of day. Standing there strong was Taylor for the Giants. Chips it across the arc of 50. That was 15. Taranto tackled there by Rankin. Strictly speaking, that was a drop kick. Miller intercepted it, tried to go quickly, smothered by Hopper. Ball spills to Hogan towards the wing here. Kennedy, under a lot of pressure, bounces it towards the wing. Callum Ward makes it look good. Handball to Taranto. Handball Hopper in the middle of the ground. Semi-smothered. The Gold Coast will rebound through Markov.
He picks up and has a go. Dashes to the centre of the ground. Ham passes to Holman. Left foot kick inside 50. Out the back, a chance for Sexton. Gathers off the crumb. Has a snap. He's kicked his second. That was a swivel and bang in hope from Alex Sexton, but he's got two. And the Suns hit the lead. 3 goals in a row for Gold Coast. It's 4-2-26 to 3-4-22. And again, Jeff, they get it in quickly and get a result.
Just one step, bang. Great work by Markov. Just to take that advantage, take that ground. You got space in front of you, just take it. And the smother. There was a kick that was going forward for the GWS. One of the Suns just got a smother on it. That's where Markov was able to come back and pick it up. Really good team effort.
Cold day, sparse crowd. There's only one thing missing. I'm just waiting for the Rezzies to come out from their showers, and they're all finished and they've got their beer and pie in hand, and they go to the fence to watch the seniors.
Yeah, they sit in one area. Yeah,
sort of halfway through the second quarter, the Rezzies come out. So that's the only thing we're missing from this field today, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true, but there might be a few locals who pop in very shortly. Mumford versus Burgess in the middle. Call it a draw this time. Rowell Gets the clearance and the handball to Swallow, who immediately bangs it inside 50. Ball on the ground. Taylor overruns it. Now enter Holman. Did well at ground level. Cutting back in, though, was Taylor. Did well. Got tackled again off the ball by Sexton. Taylor puts himself back in, and that was a crunching effort. Nick Holman absolutely throwing his body in there.
He's just a bull, isn't he?
Loves a tackle. So does Rowell. Burgess slaps it down into the path. It's touched off the boot, or is it a goal? It's touched off the boot.
Caught it touched.
Soon as it landed, the umpire... Now, we're going to have a conference, even though both the umpire, it was Fiorini who got the flying shot away, but a goal umpire, David Roden, called it touched immediately. You can see... Let's do the review for the arc right now. Sam Reed's almost broken his thumb touching it. That's how it works. And that's conclusive enough. Both umpires said it was touched. Let's move on.
He was pretty adamant too, wasn't he? Straight away.
That's a very good call from the goal from about 30 metres away.
It was David Roden.
Well, I think Fielder must have called us. Yeah.
Yep, both umpires immediately signalled touch.
So that's a point. It'll be 4-3-27 to 3-4-20.
Let's just see first, Q. We've got to live through the arc first. We've got to wait for the arc. Here it comes. There it is.
4-3-27 to 3-4-22. Suns by 5 points. Long kick in from the Giants to the right half back flank. Roved by Ward. Hand pass there to Tom Green. Tried to get it to Kelly, but out of play.
What's the record for the most amount of tackles in a game?
Very good question, Jeff.
Because Took Miller's on 10.
He's on 10 already before half-time. 51 tackles Gold Coast before half-time is extraordinary. 43 from GWS as well, so both teams applying the pressure largely. Isaac Cumming gets it onto the shoe. Jesse Hogan, really good strong mark in front of Charlie Ballard. Just short of centre wing on the outer side.
Good leadership here too. Just, hey, guys, need some numbers down the line.
Oh, he's pushed it towards the boundary line and it arcs severely towards going out. Daniels picked it up well, though. Gave the handball under pressure to Tom Green and back to Kennedy. He gets it onto the left foot, bounces it towards right half forward, but it's all Gold Coast here. Well done by Collins, who tracked it back and gave it to Lukosius. He strolls, has a bounce or two, and looks further up the field until he sees something he likes, then overcooks the kick. No, he doesn't. It was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The wind took it to Sexton. Beautifully judged.
I was with you, Pricey. Originally off the boot, I thought, oh no. But Sexton was coming behind and takes the mark. He kicks the half forward. 3-1 Giants in that pack. Out the back, roved by Perryman of GWS. Hand pass to Haynes. Quick kick to left half back as marked by Himmelberg. And Davis is slow to pick himself up. Not too far away. The fellow man, Bund Giant. Himmelberg spears a kick down the wing. Free kick to Collins. Absolutely mugged over the head by Hopper. Even in the 100th game, Jacob, they don't allow you to get away with that. Collins with the chip infield on the 45 to Flanders. Make it Swallow at left half back. Swallow kicks it across the half back line to Lukosius, and he transfers to that outer wing. Markov comes through to gather. Hand pass to Fiorini, gathers on the bounce at left half forward, hands it to Burgess, another inside 50 coming up here. Burgess to a 2-on-2. Sam Day has plucked the Sherrin out of the sky with a spectacular one-handed mark. Just put his right mid in the flight path.
Is he wearing 43?
And it's stuck. That is Koutafidis-esque. That's what you're alluding to, Jeff, aren't you?
Look at that.
Getting shot on the replay. Fantastic from Sam Day. We have seen some unbelievable marks this round. Gary Rowan, Ben Long. This is totally different, but highly skillful and a much-needed goal for the Suns right on half-time from Sam Day. They kicked 4-1 in the second quarter. And on the knock of half-time, lead by 11 points at 5-3-33 to 3-4-22. Well, let's just sit back and look to that big screen for another replay of this. Yep. One mitt, right mitt, beauty.
Just at full pace too, and it wasn't a high kick. It was quite low, and it was at full stretch, right in front of the pack. just controlled it beautifully.
It sort of reminds you of the era where you'd see the likes of Dunstall and Lockett and even the Stewie Lowe, big forwards who could use that one mitt. We don't see a lot of protecting drop zone one-arm marks anymore, Jeff.
No.
Not that was one of those, but you know what I mean? We don't get to see the one-hander much from the forward anymore.
Well, that's two. He's taken two today. Two one-handers. Took it up in the first quarter as well.
So it's the Gold Coast by 11 points late in the second quarter. Bounce favoured Burgess.
That's
Mumford didn't like it and pushed him. I think Mumford reacted to that bounce. He wasn't happy. He's given it to the umpire as well. Burgess hooks the ball around, bounces it inside 50. Himmelberg smacks it forward. It was rowed by Fiorini, just a handball in hope cut off there by Himmelberg. Haynes it was, I'm sorry. The ball bounced in front of Rankin. Handball went backwards towards Burgess. Now they're inside the centre square again. Tackle applied by Jesse Hogan. And a late throw. The umpire might actually give a free kick for that.
He has given a free kick.
Well, it was...
here we go.
It was a stop play. It was a stop play, and then the free kick was given. Long kick to the top of the square. Haynes took the mark. But that will be end of section for the first half here. An intriguing battle in Ballarat where the wind is absolutely favouring one end. That's the western end, the right as we're looking at it. A game so far of two distinct quarters, one dominated by the Giants, one by the Gold Coast at half-time. The Coast are leading by 11 points, 5-3-33 to 3-4-22. Your goal scorers for the Giants, Himmelberg's got one. Green, as in Toby Green's got one, Lockie Whitfield with the other. For the Gold Coast, Alex Sexton with 2 goals in that quarter. Took Miller's got one, Sam Day's got one, and Rory Atkins, in only his second game for the club, has got one as well.
And Lockie Whitfield is off the ground at the moment receiving assessment. Just waiting to get further news on that, but we did, during the call, suggest that he looked dazed when he got up from that mark.
He was.
He was able to kick the goal, and I see a big talking point coming here. If he is ruled out through a failed head injury assessment and is deemed to be concussed, he shouldn't have been allowed to take his kick.
But who raises the question? Who makes that call? Does the umpire go, well, hang on a minute, your legs are a little bit shaky?
Yeah.
It looked quite obvious to us, didn't it?
Yeah, to us, absolutely. We all called it, that he was wobbling.
So if it ends up being the result, then...
To be honest, perhaps it's the fact that I work across the rugby codes as well and see quite often the swiftness of the officials and the team doctors. If you see a player in league or union get up and look a bit dazed, straight away the referee holds up play and they won't let him play the ball until he's been assessed.
I was going to say, who makes that call? You just answered my question.
Yeah, but you don't... and this is the grey area that we're getting with, and more jobs for the umpires. But surely a field umpire, I mean, as laymen, we were able to see that. Yeah, it's a...
But if we saw it,
it's a big moment as well,
yeah.
and then you always give it the grand final moment. Okay, Dusty Martin's a bit wobbly on his legs in, the 25-minute mark of the last term and needs to kick a goal. Dare the ump send him off and say, no, Dusty, you can't take the kick. It's got to be someone else because you look a bit wobbly on your feet. So these are the kinds of problems that are presenting themselves as we need to be more conscious of protecting players from themselves when it comes to concussion.
I think you're raising a talking point that's going to happen.
Yeah.
What happens if the Suns get beaten by 5 points?
Well, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
And as I say, obviously see that he was shaken. He was raising. He was.
Who's the Demons' best kicker goal? Let's put the scenario on.
Demons' best kicker goal. Good one. Fritsch.
So Bailey Fritsch.
Yep.
Takes a mark in the pocket, just like Lockie Whitfield. And there's 3 points the diff at the 25-minute mark of the last term in the grand final.
And he's wobbling.
And does the ump dare say, Bailey, sorry, you can't take this kick?
Yeah.
We've got to give it to Cozzy Pickett or Christian Petrarca or someone else, whoever's the closest player.
It'd be interesting to see what... I mean, Lockie Whitfield was off... he's been off for probably 7 or 8 minutes. When did he kick that goal? He's been off since he kicked that goal in that quarter, so... There's an assessment going on.
He may be off for another reason. I'm searching the information here to try and work out why he's off the ground.
Well, he's been off for a good 20 minutes, which gives you the amount of time.
He wasn't limping. He hasn't hurt his arm.
No. It was certainly that. He came straight off after that. So it'll be interesting to see what transpires from that.
So let's go through the housekeeping. 5-3-33 to 3-4-22. Greater Western Sydney led by 9 points at quarter time, but it's now the Suns by 11 points, kicking 4 goals to just the 1 goal in that quarter. 2 goals to Alex Sexton, singles to Atkins, Miller and Day. While for the Giants, Green, Whitfield and Himmelberg have the majors. Just before we get to the news, Jeff, outside of Mother Nature, what are you seeing as the major factors in the game so far?
I just think that the Suns have adapted a lot better than what the Giants have. I would like to see the Giants come out in the third quarter and be more direct with their kick instead of chipping it around. I mean, one of the stats I look at, and when you have to adapt, one of the really standout stats for me at the moment is the uncontested marks. Now it's 42-19 in favour of the Suns. So that shows me that the Suns are willing to chip, gain possession, gain yardage in that first quarter. In the second quarter, it was totally different. So far in front in relation to inside forward 50s. It's because they were ability to then kick it inside there and utilise the wind. So I would like to see the Giants come out this quarter, utilise the wind, kick it long, and then they get some scoreboard pressure happening, so then they're able to chip in the last quarter. That's the biggest difference for me at the moment.
Ready for your thermos of coffee and hot pie at half time?
You made a good coffee before we started, so I'm counting on your next coffee.
Okay.
Yes.
Putting the pressure on. It's what I must admit. I love the feel of this kind of day at the footy. It takes us back to our roots of being at junior. Obviously, can't play in Sydney at the moment, so they've gone to Ballarat, and there's not a huge crowd here, but it's a windy day. And as I said, it feels like all we're missing is the reserves coming out halfway through that second quarter. And we need, what was the netball scores? The club netties, just sort of at the adjacent part of the oval.
Or just the car horns when the goals
go.
Beep, beep.
Yeah, we don't want the bugle because it's a Giants home game, but a few car horns would be good. Good on you, Jeff. Thanks, Pricey. We'll take a break on that at half-time. A reminder, the Bulldogs and the Swans coming your way as well at Docklands later today, and Richmond taking on Collingwood. Because State of Origin 3 is played on Wednesday, now on the Gold Coast at Robina. There's just the one game in the National Rugby League today. It's not for another couple of hours away, with Cronulla Sutherland taking on the Warriors. It's the Suns leading by 11 points on a cold and windy day at Ballarat. Halftime here on Grandstand AFL. We'll be back after the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
Hello, ABC News with David Rowlands. A woman in Sydney southwest has died after contracting COVID-19. New South Wales Health has confirmed the woman in her 90s died yesterday in Liverpool Hospital. It's the first COVID death in the state since December. The New South Wales Chief Health Officer, Dr Kerry Chant, says she thinks the woman was not vaccinated.
Tragically, there was the death of a 90-year-old lady. My condolences to the family. Again, it highlights the severity and the impact that COVID can have on loved ones, the most nearest and dearest to you.
Meanwhile, the New South Wales Premier, Gladys Berejiklian, says it's extremely unlikely the Greater Sydney COVID lockdown will be lifted at the end of next week. The state has recorded 77 new locally acquired cases, with 42 of them in the community while infectious. Health authorities expect over 100 new cases tomorrow. Ms Berejiklian says any decision regarding extending the lockdown beyond Friday will be made as soon as possible.
Given where we're at and given the lockdown was supposed to be lifted on Friday, I think everybody can tell that it's highly unlikely at this stage given where the numbers are. And we've always been very upfront about that.
A councillor from Liverpool in Sydney southwest says there's a perception in the community that it's been singled out in response to growing COVID numbers. Extra police resources have been deployed to the area to ensure lockdown compliance. Deputy Commissioner Gary Warboys says officers will be moved to different areas as daily health advice dictates. Liverpool councillor Nathan Haggerty says he's been contacted by many residents who are upset by the police presence.
There were police in the northern beaches and there were police in the eastern suburbs. What you didn't get there was a huge announcement about this. It wasn't splashed over the front page of the newspaper. It wasn't on the TV. And the people in my community feel like they're being criminalised for what is essentially a health issue.
An architect of Australia's widely praised AIDS Grim Reaper ads has dismissed a new federal government COVID-19 advertising campaign, saying it'll do little to address vaccine hesitancy. The ads urge Australians to arm yourself against COVID-19 and get the jab. Strategic health policy expert Professor Bill Botel of the University of New South Wales says that in the wake of what he calls mixed messaging about vaccines, the ad campaign should have been better targeted.
We see the hesitancy about AstraZeneca spilling over into a concern about vaccinations generally. Now, that's something that ad campaigns run by the federal government should really address. The two vaccines we've got on offer at the moment and explaining what they are.
Coronavirus deaths in Russia have hit another daily record, with authorities reporting more than 750 fatalities amid a continuing surge in infections. The country's coronavirus task force also recorded just over 25,000 new cases. The daily tally of confirmed infections has soared from around 9,000 in early June. Despite the surge, the Kremlin says there are no plans to impose another lockdown. To other news, and Defence Minister Peter Dutton has confirmed all Australian troops have been withdrawn from Afghanistan, ending an almost 20-year military commitment in the war-torn nation. Mr Dutton says the final Australian troops left Afghanistan in recent weeks, earlier than the September deadline that had been previously set. Speaking on Sky News, Mr Dutton said those who served in the region should be proud.
I can confirm that today. We've had 1,500 troops there. Recently, the number got down to 80 and we've now withdrawn from Afghanistan, and that marks a very significant contribution over 2 decades, 41 lives lost, 39,000 troops who have served their country with great distinction.
Police have arrested 7 more men over the shooting murder of Gold Coast bikie Shane Bowden. Elizabeth Cramsey reports.
Shane Bowden died after being shot 21 times in the driveway of a home at Pimpamar on the Gold Coast. 46-year-old Ian Robert Crowden was arrested and charged yesterday with murder. Police allege he's the president of the Brisbane West chapter of the outlaw motorcycle gang the Mongols and organised the hit, but it's not alleged that he pulled the trigger. Today's arrests are as a result of raids carried out by police across the southeast. The men, aged between 23 and 41, have also been charged with murder involving serious organised crime and will appear in the Brisbane Magistrates Court tomorrow.
And in cricket, the West Indies have thrashed Australia by 56 runs in the second T20 International in St Lucia, giving them a 2-0 lead in the best-of-5 series. ABC News.
This year's Origin has been dominated by New South Wales.
Intercepted by Latrell Mitchell. Bye-bye, New South Wales, a 95-metre try.
Can Queensland salvage something from the wreckage?
Capewell's dummy, and Kurt Capewell's over.
Or will the Blues make it a rare clean sweep? The 2021 State of Origin Series on Grandstand Rugby League.
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio, and on the ABC Listen app.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
A bounce to the middle of the ground from Tom Green. Lowers his eyes, chips to Himmelberg from goal. Best part of 2 kicks from there into the wind. He slots it to the pocket. Whitfield, great courage. Back with the flight, took the front on contact from Bowes. He's pushed it through. It's a high ball which will drop like a pin 20 metres out. Back of the pack through the fingers. Giants with the numbers. Haynes has a fumble. Holman with the tackle. Rankin kicked off the ground into the pack. Picked up by Sexton. And he does snap the goal. Out the back. Holman arrives. Can't pick up. King has another go. Hand pass to Atkins. A dribbler from the sub is a goal. Holman, left foot kick inside. 50 out the back. A chance for Sexton. Gathers off the crumb, has a snap, he's kicked his second. And the Suns hit the lead. Burgess to a 2-on-2. Sam Day has plucked the Sherrin out of the sky with a spectacular one-handed mark. Goal for the Suns right on half-time.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Cold and windy at Ballarat, but the sun is shining for Gold Coast. Welcome back. 11 points is the lead to the Suns at half-time. This is Grandstand AFL through ABC Sport. I'm Quentin Hull, calling with Michael Price and the former Melbourne club champion, Jeff White. It is Gold Coast 5-3-33 to Greater Western Sydney's 3-4-22. And confirmation during the break that... well, as much as these two teams may live on the so-called outer rim of AFL discussion at times, I think the Lachie Whitfield issue is going to certainly generate a lot of debate, Jeff. He's out of the game with concussion, having sustained that concussion in taking a mark, yet he was allowed to kick for goal. Strange old one, that. I'm not exactly sure as to how that should be officiated, but it's not a great look that if a player can't continue the rest of the game due to a concussion, that he took some action in the game once it was recognised that he needed to be assessed.
No, it's an interesting point you bring up, Q, because you no doubt commentate NRL and the rugby codes and all that sort of stuff, and that's one of the things that the referee has the ability to do, is make it on decision spot when they have a head tackle or that player looks to be, at least get an assessment. And it was very clear to us when we saw that. Courageous effort by Lachie Whitfield. Amazing running ability. But then he got up and his legs were shaky. You could obviously sense that. He was trying to open his eyes a little bit better. Then he's taken the kick and he's kicked the goal. So, yeah, certainly I think this might raise certainly a huge debate this week.
Yeah, it's got some ramifications, hasn't it? As you've said, Q, 25 minutes gone, final quarter, and you get a player struggling to keep his straight line as he lines up for goal, and he should be...
Well, the thing that people will say is, well, he only took the kick, there was no contact, then he came off. But who draws the fine line there? It was easy enough for Whitfield 25 metres out to assume that he's going to score and there won't be any continuation of play. But if he doesn't make the distance, and then play continues, he might then be engaged in the next passage of football.
Correct. Exactly. So he misses that. He goes, there's no assessment. I think it's an opportunity, responsibility of the umpire to actually just at least make a blow the whistle, put your hand up, that's time on. Hey, look, can I just have him assessed? I mean, I think, it was very interesting to hear from Q just before about the referees in the NRL have the ability to do that. Hey, blow the whistle. Hey, just look, I want a duty of care for the athlete right now. And exactly what Q just said then. So Lachie Whitfield lines up. He misses the goal. He's now back in the... What happens if the ball gets kicked out and it goes on his side of the play? And now we've obviously found out that he's out due to concussion. And unfortunately... he won't be able to play next week, but it's a duty of care. I think, you have 30 seconds to line up your goal, but hey, blow the whistle. Oh, I just want to check this out. Yeah. So I feel that this is where it should be an opportunity for the AFL and the umpires to say, hey, look, duty of care to the player.
Actually, you're dead right. It is an opportunity as opposed to something to be frightened about. It's an opportunity to address a situation that could happen like that in the future and make sure you've got something in place. Let's have a look at some of the stats, Whitey. We're having a look at the Gold Coast and GWS disposals. Gold Coast have actually edged in front. They're plus 13 in overall disposals. Contested possessions, the Giants plus 4 there, 88 to 84. Both teams are operating at 61 and 66% disposal efficiency. That, again, the ball drops affected by this massive wind here, very gusty conditions and cool conditions in Ballarat. So it's Gold Coast with 66%, the Giants on 61. As far as tackles go, 51 to 45 in favour of the Gold Coast, 24 to 18 the clearances in favour of the Giants. The inside 50s were dominated by the Giants in the first quarter. The Gold Coast 33 to 20 now, but both teams are not converting as well as they possibly could when it comes to actually getting the ball inside attacking 50. They're doing it 33 to 20, as I said, for the Gold Coast. When it comes to it, though, their efficiency inside 50 is around 40% for the Giants and 36% for the Gold Coast. So those conditions, Whitey, blustery, favouring one side of the ground and one end of the ground. The Gold Coast seem to have adapted a little bit better to it than the Giants.
I feel they have adapted, and it'll be interesting to see what the stats are. As I mentioned at half-time there about uncontested marks, at the moment sits at 42-19 in favour of the Suns. So it'll be interesting to see where that sits at three-quarter time. That just highlights exactly what we've been speaking about, that they adapted in the first quarter about chip, gain possession, control the ball, don't kick it. We saw how many times in that quarter that the Giants kicked it out in the full queue. They were just trying to be too cute. You've got to, and this is where now it's back on their terms to kick it long inside forward 50. On the other side for the Suns, they've got a chip, gain possession going upfield.
There's some differing reports coming from the room. Some are suggesting that Whitfield passed his concussion test and he's been subbed out as a precaution. Now, it's our job as broadcasters and journalists to be curious and a little sceptical. I'm not being disrespectful to the information that we're getting, but we can only call what we've seen. Obviously, the doctors have made an assessment. But if a guy gets up and has a wobble on his feet and he's able to kick a goal, and you're Lockie Whitfield, you don't sub him out when he's past the HIA as a precaution, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So if he is precautionarily taken out of the game, he shouldn't have then taken the kick. He should have precautionarily been off the field to not take the kick. If we're serious, if there's a precaution, he can't take that kick.
Yeah.
If he's not good enough to play the rest of the game, even if he passes the HIA, in my opinion, he shouldn't have taken the kick.
But in that situation, doesn't the doctor need to, or don't they need to declare what the actual injury is?
So we just say, well, are they just trying to cover themselves because he has taken the kick? Well, let's get back to the footy. That's the main discussion point. Burgess with the clearance to start the third term for the Suns. They lead by 11 points, but kicking into the wind in this third quarter. Ball goes inside 50. Cummings immediately tackled, and we will see a ball up. 50 metres from the goal that the Suns are attacking at the eastern end. Mumford gets a tap down. Swallow roves it though. He's tackled by Tom Green. Got a hand pass out the back to Ellis. To Miller. Hand pass to the flank is gathered by Bowes. He tumbles a hoper inside 50, but going back with the flight. The mark is taken by Green of the Perryman it was, of the Giants.
Long kick inside the centre square. Jesse Hogan comes out. Presents nicely, then a long ball inside 50. Here's the medical sub just activated. Finlayson, he had it all. He had 10 metres of space and the ball bounced awkwardly. He couldn't control it and took it over the boundary line. It'll be a throw in though in the right forward pocket for the Giants.
Giants, good. They went down the middle, used the wind.
Just direct it was as Burgess gets in front of Mumford in the ruck. Hopper roves though, overruns the ball. Miller, handball to Sharp, handball in there to Fiorini. He grubbers a ball. Kennedy grabs it for the Giants. Flanders takes it off him for the Gold Coast. Now through hands, through Ellis, through Touk Miller to centre half back. Sweeping handball out to Jack Bowes. He goes wider, draws the man, gets Miller by hand on the outer wing. Ellis kept running. This is great stuff from the coast. Ellis wanted to play on, actually dropped the ball, picked it up, gave it back to Bowes. Now it goes inside 50. Here's a contest. Good fist there from Haynes through Holman. Ball on the ground. It was Isaac Cumming who got it. Now through Perryman, back to Haynes. They should be out here, the Giants.
From left half back, he kicks it towards the outer wing. Himmelberg, third in line, couldn't mark. Taps down to Daniels, tackled by Collins. Handball falls to Swallow of the Suns. He hands it to Ballard, chip pass all. Swallow and Bowes both looked at each other. Ellis picks it up, gives it to Swallow. He's tackled by Lloyd and the ball's out of play.
Yeah, great run, offensive run there from Ellis and Miller, but just Bowes just needed to have a little bit more composure, just to kick it a bit deeper inside forward 50 then, but good early signs there from the Suns. Their ability to run. That's what you've got to do when you're playing in the wind. Got to work together.
Ball thrown in on that outer side. Burgess read it well. Taps to the front of the pack, no rover. Whistle on play. Giants free kick. Kelly takes the advantage. Booms the ball from the wing inside 50. Toby Green smashes the pack. Brings the ball to ground level. Snap on goal is near side from Finlayson, the sub who's been injected for Whitfield. His first score of the afternoon is the Giants' fifth behind, 3-5-23, trails 5-3-33.
Great contest by Green, though.
Great
contest. Yeah.
Charlie Ballard, was it?
Yeah, going back. Very courageous.
So, the Gold Coast to play on now. through Lukosius. Runs about 10 metres and then bombs it just short of centre wing. The wind holds it up, of course. Swallow Rove's got a handball out, looking for Rankin, but it went over the boundary line. Going to throw in on the wing, outer side here at Ballarat. It's Gold Coast by 10 points, and we've played around about 3 minutes of the third quarter. Mumford again in the ruck against Chris Burgess. Burgess makes his way to the front. Gets a tap down. Ellis. Going through hard was Hopper. Did beautifully. Bounced to his feet. Got his right foot to the ball. Bounced it inside 50. Hogan. Gather and handball in the one motion. Finlayson turned it over. Hogan came in with a smother on Lemons. It landed with Daniels. Daniels handball to Green. Green taken off the ball. Gold Coast with it. Powell, handball Miller, and it's a Fiorini outside of the shoe. Very delicate kick to find Sharp inside defensive 50.
Bit of space at left half back. He goes back to Bowes, and then the kick from Bowes to Sharp. He marks and holds it up. You thought Toby Green was a bit stiff in that previous play not to get a free kick. Infield on the 45 through Lemons, who marks it, gives it to Fiorini.
Now this is the uncontested possession, uncontested marks I'm talking about. Ability to work for one another up the field.
Fiorini defensive side of the broadcast wing. High kick for Gold Coast to half forward. Pitches at the front of the pack. Burgess trying to crash through there. Holman has a go. Picked up by Cumming. He's gang tackled by Flanders and Holman. And we will have a ball up at left half forward for Gold Coast. And another shot on the big screen of Toby Green getting pushed into the deck by Sean Lemons. No free kick. Ball up. 60 from the Suns' goal. Spews out defensive side of the pack for the Suns. Sharp gathers. Hands it to Bowes. Hand pass to Fiorini. 70 out on the flank. Kicks to full forward back with the flight well read by Taylor. Fine young defender coming back into the team today for the Giants. He's taken the mark in front of the sticks. He's defending at full back.
Gold Coast by 10 points. The 11th intercept mark there for the Giants from Taylor. Fist away. It's Miller. Handball back to Rowell. Immediately tackled by Daniels. Dislodged the ball. No holding the ball decision. Will Powell picked it up. Tries to dodge a couple. It's tackled by both Taranto and Hopper. Inside the centre square, we'll have another ball up. Umpire throws it up this time. Burgess. Off the ground, Fiorini. It bounces 30 metres from the Gold Coast goal. Full-chested and meeting it full flight was Taylor. Picked it up and launched a torpedo into the middle of the ground. Nicely done, Finlayson. Handball back to Daniels, who kicks it inside 50. Oh, the bounce favours the Giants. It was Himmelberg back to Toby Green. Tackled, handball back to Himmelberg, and it should be a goal. It is. The ball was bouncing towards two Gold Coast Suns, and it did that horrible bouncer Sharon does. Went the opposite way and favoured the Giants. Himmelberg gets his second. 4-5-29 the Giants, 5-3-33 the Gold Coast. 4 points to the margin, Jeff.
Pitched up perfectly there, didn't have the ball, but great offensive run and a good attack from Taylor on the back line. That's what created that attack straight down the middle. No mucking around. Totally different game style they're playing right now, the Giants, compared to what they did in the first quarter.
Himmelberg with his second. Now has 21 for the season, only 3 games away from his joining his fellow Riverina lad Hopper, celebrating his 100th today. Attritional day of footy with a spot in the 8 on the line for the Giants if they can get over the line today. Mumford taps down, but Burgess has had a really big day against Mummy.
He's had a great day.
Gets the clearance towards half forward for the Suns. Reed's got 3 Suns against him. Has a go to put his body over it and force a neutral. Well done. Sam Reed.
I pointed that out at the start of the game thinking that, no disrespect to Burgess, but geez, he's competed really well. He's got his hands on the ball and he's just been really good at his second and third efforts on the ground.
12 touches, 5 clearances and 6 inside 50s for Burgess, doing well as the Gold Coast are going to put it back inside 50. Lukosius, it's a dribbling kick. Put the pressure on Flanders. Handball back to Burgess. Tackled by Reed. Let's loose the ball. Could be holding the ball.
Dumped.
Dumped afterwards. A little bit too roughly, says the umpire. Sam Reed argues the case, but they really changed their mind. 45 metres out. Just a slight angle to the left. It's going to be Chris Burgess having a shot at goal against the wind.
Well, he got rid of the ball and he continued on with the tackle. Bang.
When you see the head actually hit the ground at that velocity, the umpires...
So this is the near side right footer's fade.
Yeah,
Okay,
so this left forward pocket at the eastern end.
You kick it between the goalpost and the point post, Whitey?
Left side, left goalpost. We saw that with Lockie Whitfield.
I reckon you've got to give away more. I reckon you've got to try and kick it through the point post and the goalpost left side. We'll have a look.
Chris Burgess from 40 on the right foot, starts it left, it curls back beautifully. Exactly as you called it, Q. Burgess gets his goal and one against the wind for the Gold Coast. That's vital here today in Ballarat. 6-3-39, plays 4-5-29.
Talk about trusting the caddy.
Yeah.
You'd say, surely there's not that much break.
Put the grass in the air, Matty Lloyd style.
Yep.
Burgess, 2 centre bounces started the quarter, and then the goal after Himmelberg. He has got the clearance from the centre bounce. So not only has he got the ruck tap, but he's followed it up now with a goal too. So that puts it squarely back in Mummy's. They're looking from a ruckman's point of view now. He's got to be fired up. There's nothing worse than when a ruckman kicks a goal against you. Great work by Burgess. He's been outstanding today so far.
Well, speaking of the continued golfing analogies, par is now just the one goal to that end during each quarter. Gold Coast was only able to kick one in the first term. Greater Western Sydney one in the second. Well, Suns have got their one for this term to return to a 10-point lead. Centre bounce. Burgess is starting to give Mummy a bath. He got over the top of him there. Fiorini gets a toe to it towards half forward. Not a controlled kick. Ward's over the top. Holman gathers him. Ward now then plays tackle on Holman.
Mummy's trying to he's trying to do it as like a stop play, and Burgess is just going for the ball, creating momentum going forward.
Well, his leap is beating him in the middle, certainly. Then the body tangle at other stoppages. Lloyd has a go for the Giants in the middle of the ground. Tackled by Rowell, got his toe to it, free kick Giants. As Daniels was under that, was taken high. He runs away and plays on quickly. Has a bounce near the bullseye. Runs to the attacking edge of the centre square. Deep kick to full forward and a 2-on-2. Brought to ground level. Kelly front and centre. Snap on his right boot. Misses everything. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick to the Suns in the left back pocket. It's Gold Coast 6-3-39. Leading Greater Western Sydney 4-5-29. You're hearing it all on Grandstand AFL through ABC Sport. We've played 10 minutes of the third term.
And we're having a look at the kicking efficiency for both teams. Gold Coast at 59, GWS at 53%. So the wind is playing havoc. At ground level, Callum Ward, he's bumped off it by Atkins. Atkins handball to Holman, back to Atkins, and he just runs over the boundary line. I thought he was going to plant the ball down between the big sticks and call for the try. Throw in. 10 minutes gone in the third quarter. In the shadows of the grandstand on the commentary side. Good slap down then to half of Daniels, who started to get a little bit more lively. He tries to measure the pass to Hogan on the lead. Overcooks it. Nicely cleaned up by Ballard. He goes across the face of goal. Oleg Markov takes it and puts a 20-metre pass forward. Will Powell takes it in the left back pocket. So they're really just controlling play at the moment. Happy to just find each other, move about. Fiorini, he takes another short pass, plays on, kicks the left footer down towards the wing. Punched away by King. Atkins getting more involved. Rose dribbles it forward. Now Holman got Haynes on his hammer. Ball spills to Mumford. Got a handball away as tackled and kicked forward by Haynes. And another good mark. Sam Collins against Himmelberg. And he's out. They're going to play on here. Ellis is clear.
They've got runners too. Ellis.
Bouncing ball gathered on the right half back flank. Ellis does give to Markov on the wing. Has time for a fumble to pick up and then hand pass to Swallow. 70 out into the teeth of the wind. Kicks it into attack. Great Mark Iden going back with the flight for the Giants to take the grab. And when you've got a Gold Coast versus Greater Western Sydney game, you're aware that perhaps not all the eyes of the competition are on you. But with the scoreline as it is and the Giants around the 8, you get the sense there's more people tuning in. You think of that crush around the 8. Dockers fans, Eagles fans, Tigers fans, Bombers fans, all tuning in to see what's going on here. Probably cheering the Suns because the Giants could go in the 8 if they win. Well, will go in the 8 if they win this game. Here's Miller on the wing for the Suns. He'll kick it wide to half forward. Lukosius marks 60 from goal. If you're one of those fans, send us a message, 0437 774 774. Lukosius kicks to the corridor. It sits for Day. Beautifully weighted. It dropped on the breeze into the chest of Sam Day. And this is not an easy assignment, albeit 35 metres out and directly in front.
They're just that's Day. I think maybe the switch is he's gone to the ruck. I saw that Mummy was trying to, just the ability to understand where you're at and push forward. And Yeah, smart play there. Smart play for the Suns. They're chipping around. They're going off the line too. They're not blazing down the line.
Day kicked the goal right on half-time this time. That's a well-executed kick. Started it left, got it home just from 35 to 40 metres out. Mumford was on the line, but it's signalled a goal by umpire David Roden. And the first time in the game that we've seen more than one goal kicked in a quarter to this eastern end. Day's second, 2 in a row for the Suns. They're out by a game-high 16 at 7-3-45 to 4-5-29. And already getting those messages. G'day Vishen, who says, listening to you in Manjimup in the southern forests of WA, sitting on an excavator digging cut-off drains in anticipation of a wild and wet storm coming tonight, enjoying your call and awaiting an Eagles late season revival. Of
That's
course,
awesome.
They're playing on Monday. Thanks for your message, Vision. 0467 0437 774 774 is the number. That's 0437 774 774.
Just they're playing very, very smart footy at the moment, the Suns.
We're back into the middle. Mumford wins his own clearance here, gets the handball away to Kelly. That's better. A long kick to the top of the square, and it just kept floating and floating. Lukosius followed it back to the goal line, collided with the goal post, and fisted it through for a point. 7-3-45 plays 4-5-29. It's for 6-30. 15 points the margin. Coast lead it, and Lukosius plays on and kicks it long towards the outer side. It's off hands, and I think Mummy accidentally whacked Ben King in the head.
Yes, Ben King came away feeling his lip. I don't know. That's probably one of the Ruckman Union's accidentals, right, Jeff?
Yeah, the ball was there, wasn't it?
Ball thrown in on that outer side. Burgess again beats Mummy to the tap. Front of the pack for Fiorini in traffic. Got the hand pass there. Well, Markov tried to get it to Miller, couldn't. In fact, it was Atkins. Kick goes to half forward. Toby Green has it. He's tackled straight away. Got a hand pass clear. Swallow stole it. Kelly stole it from him. Rumbling ball inside 50 from the Giants. Results in a juggling mark to Bobby Hill. It was just a hoping quick kick inside 50 from Hopper.
Just creating chaos, wasn't it? They were just keeping the ball going forward. You never know what can happen.
Bobby Hill's got a chance to kick a really important goal on what is a tough day to negotiate with the weather conditions. It's only a 15-point lead halfway through this third term, but can Hill negotiate the conditions, the pressure? His right boot works right to left. He's kicked the goal. Just what the Giants needed. Back to a 9-point ball game. Gold Coast 7-3-45. Greater Western Sydney 5-6-36.
Good game this. A lot of pressure. Just chaos. Just creating it forward. You never know when you're in front. And that's exactly what happened in that situation. But I just like the way they've straightened themselves up this quarter, GWS. They've just been able to go through the corridor, get it in long, use the strength of the wind.
Here we go. Nige, Bombers fan listening in, played juniors in Ballarat. It's a real
cold place.
Uncomplimentary description. Thank you, Nige. Betty and Bassendine, WA. Gardening in the sun. Go Suns. I barrack for Freo. Yeah, it's amazing how we thought that the 8 was cut, but a few of these results have really made it a logjam. Great to have you with us.
Back in the middle. Mumford versus Burgess. Mumford drops it at his own feet. Swallow comes in, tries to extricate it. Good tackle from Hopper.
I would never describe Ballarat the way that Nige did.
No. No, Nige, keep it well. Family show, chap. As we just see on the big screen, it's Greenwood. Wrapped up, beanie, scarf and jacket. He's out for the day with a knee injury, and the substitute is on in Atkins. Now it's with Bobby Hill for the Giants at right half forward. It comes off the outside of the shoe. You can hear from the crowd. They like that. There must be some Suns fans just there in that spot. And it's going to be a free kick to Sam Collins. He plays on. Goes to the goal square to find Jeremy Sharp. The young Western Australian kicks to right half forward.
Lovely kick.
Yeah, it was a great kick, wasn't it? Alex Sexton floats and takes a nice overhead mark at right half back.
18 minutes, third term, Suns by 9, kicking into the wind. A kick to the wing from Sexton to a contest won by Giants. Haynes gives it to Hopper. Rush kick to half forward. Through the pack, a chance for Himmelberg near the boundary. Gathers 55 out. Ham passes over his shoulder to Perryman. He hampers infield to Reed. Reed's clever kick from the outside of his boot to the advantage of Toby Green. Gee, that was a good kick from Reed. And Green's up to the task, diving forward to take the mark. And if there is any player in the competition you'd want in these conditions, under this pressure, to make it a maximum result, it's the number 4 for the Giants.
Certainly is.
Is he up to it? Already kicked a booming goal, having read the conditions beautifully in the first term to this end from 60 metres out. This is a set shot attempt, which is going to work right to left. So he's got to give away the goals to the right-hand side and hope it weaves back. Green on the approach from 40. He hasn't given enough away. And I think he hit it off the instep. It's a point across the face. And 8 points is the lead to Gold Coast at 45-37.
Missed opportunity there from the Giants.
You could see the flags absolutely behind the goal. The Suns supporters' flags were going at a 45-degree angle. The wind hasn't died down at all. Gusting at around about 33 k's an hour here. And just see from the foot drop, as we see the replay on the big screen, the ball drop.
Ball drop was the foot was too high.
G'day Hannah, a Bombers fan here, listening to the call while watching some Sunday afternoon soccer in Albert Park. Marginally warmer than Ballarat, but feels equally as windy. Thank you, Hannah. David Swanpool says the Giants' loss is important for the Tigers' aspirations of finishing 9th.
Well, it's a long kick towards the goal square. Once again, it overcooks the pack. With the wind's assistance, Charlie Ballard cleans up, then measures a lovely kick to Braden Fiorini right on the boundary line in front of the scoreboard. Still inside defensive 50, though. Fiorini's going to play on, use his left foot and kick it shorter centre wing out of side. King flies well. Atkins roves nicely. Handball back to Ellis. Handball to Sexton. From a standing start, he kicks it straight down the wing, but it's all Giants. It's taken there by Taylor.
That's what they're trying to eliminate, the Suns. They don't want to blast away. They want to hold possession.
6.5 minutes with Mother Nature's help. That's all that the Giants have got left here. Great kick inside 50. Hogan there in a 2-on-2. Gets his fingers to the contest. Takes a 2 grabber. And, well, his impact's been minimal for the Giants, just his 3rd game, but he's kicked 4 goals on both occasions that he's played this year. He's had the 1 set shot for 1 behind today. And this is a huge kick late in the 3rd term for Jesse Hogan. Again, a right to lefter. From 50 metres out, he's banged it strong and deep and errantly.
It's a big kick.
For a behind. 5-8-38 now of the Giants to the Suns. 7-3-45. A 7-point lead to Gold Coast late in this 3rd term.
Jack Lukosius decides to just go as long as he can towards centre wing out of side. Front position was Burgess, punched away from him. Brandon Ellis tracks it towards the boundary line. Ash on his hammer. They've taken the ball. It's hacked back inside 50 by the Giants. Front position, Hogan. Now that didn't go over. Oh, he plays on. Handball to Harry Himmelberg. Standing start. Hooked it around the body. Oh, I would have liked to see Jesse Hogan go back and have a crack at that, but it was 1 behind. 39 plays 45. It's the Gold Coast by 1 straight kick. We've got about 5.5 to go of the 3rd quarter.
14 inside 50s to 9 for Greater Western Sydney in this quarter as Bowes runs beyond the goal square at full back. And he kicks it out on the full on the inbound. Again, that wind just pushing it to those spectators. You almost should pay twice out there. Usually it's the other way around for the outer. It's half price compared to the grandstand. You're getting twice as much footy out there. Kick inside 50. Lloyd leads to the hole and takes the mark 30 metres out. Haynes with the quick injection. And Lloyd found himself in plenty of space.
This is a very important kick. 5 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter with the wind.
Daniel Lloyd with the 8 goals this year. Straight in front, so again right to left. It probably has to give the goal opening away for Mother Nature to work it back. Here's the shot on its way. Goal umpire doesn't move. Brilliant kick from Lloyd to narrow the margin.
All square.
Well, back to all square. Yep, all square. At 6-9 to 7-3. 45 apiece. Lloyd's first of the day. And that's 3 goals. 3 goals, 5 to 2 straight for the Giants over the Suns in this term, Jeff White.
Yeah, just put it in a really dangerous position. The Suns just breaking down, not being able to go, but we're seeing now there's the last three inside forward 50s for GWS have been Marks, Jesse Hogan, Green, and now that one there. So really, really good. Really, that's what they need to do. Get probably another 1 or 2 on the board just to give them a little bit of breathing space heading into the last quarter.
So it is game on here. Ballarat, 45 apiece. Umpire Glusis has it in the middle of the park. Mumford, slightly favoured by the bounce. Got it back to Kelly. Kelly now, from a standing start, bounces it towards centre half forward. Good contest, Bowes. Ball spills, though. Nicely picked up Finlayson. Gave it back to Toby Green. From the arc of 50, he curled it around the body. Boy, he got onto that kick. It landed a metre in front of the goal line, but it was fisted through by Sam Collins for a behind.
Well, that gets the Giants to the lead, and they are coming, Jeff. They realise their time
they need to
with the wind is running out.
It is.
So you'd probably think they'd need at least a 2-goal advantage. Lukosius with the inbound, beyond defensive 50. Taylor leaps at the pack, can't mark. Iden Rose, and indeed it is holding the ball. Flanders with the tackle on Connor Iden to earn a free kick for the Suns at right half back. And just to try and get them out of the danger zone. He chips it short, and the mark taken by Ainsworth. Still defensive side of the wing on the outer side for Gold Coast. Ainsworth plays on and rolls to that outer side, and the kick's going to get on the breeze again. And don't they learn that's out of bounds on the full once more? And Nick Haynes is there to take the free kick for the Giants, just forward of the left half-back flank.
It's one of the toughest jobs today is to hug the boundary line, especially on the outer side. It's a long kick. Hogan did beautifully in the middle of the pack, but then his handball was errant. Picked up by Ainsworth, who did the 1-2 back with Ellis. Ainsworth dribbles it by foot down the outer side. Flanders gathers, belted by Davis over the line. There will be a throw in.
He's stayed down, Flanders.
He has, and I tell you what, you see Ben Ainsworth, he's not usually the most fiery, or either is Sam Day, but Sam Day went in immediately to remonstrate on that one, and didn't appreciate Flanders' treatment, but everybody's up, everybody's separated, and there's going to be a throw in on the outer wing.
6:10:46 to 7:3:45. Giants in front. Taranto tries to rove the ball in. Well, whistle sounded just as Mumford took it out of his grasp and was going to break away, but the umpire already called a secondary stoppage.
Matt Rowell with only the 4 disposals and 6 tackles though, so reasonably quiet.
Mumford got the tap down that time on the wing. Beautiful service down to Kelly. Rush kick to half forward for the Giants. Green leads out. That's Toby, spoiled by Lemons over the line. And a throw in, 55 around from the Giants' goal at left half forward. Attacking the western end. And that end being favoured by this blustery easterly today. Well, it's sort of a sour easterly. Throw in, Mumford with the tap down. But Rouse there underneath. He is tackled by Kelly. No Pryor. Another ball up. 3 minutes on the clock to three-quarter time. Mumford with the tap down on D50 boundary, on attacking 50 boundary side. Lemons on D50 for the Suns tackle. And yet again, Jeff, it's locked up there. Boy, the Ruckman have earned their money today.
Oh, yeah, it's
repeat.
Ball thrown up, Touk Miller, talking about earning your money. That is 28 disposals now for Touk Miller. His kick turned over. Haynes went to go straight ahead, but then went laterally back into the corridor, finds Kennedy. Nicely weighted kick, finds Sam Reid. Now he's going to launch one, Sam Reid, from inside the centre square. It goes to the goal square, off hands. Oh, Toby Green! It went off hands. He has kicked it in mid-air on the goal line. If it is a goal, it is spectacular. But we will be having a conference, and that is Toby Green-like. Oh, yes, he's got his foot to it, Q. Will beat the arc. That is a ripping goal from Toby Green. You're never out of the contest, and that man is the poster boy for that sentiment.
They needed something special, didn't they?
We'll just get the official review. You can tell you right now, it's come off the boot. It is a goal. And the arc has just confirmed that. Toby Green gets his second goal.
Well, he could be wearing blue or white on Monday morning with that one.
Oh, yeah.
Guess what he's been watching.
Football's coming home for Toby. 7:3:45 the Gold Coast, 7:10:52. GWS now by 7 points with only about 3 minutes left.
One of those smart footballing moments on a day which requires smart footballers, Jeff.
That's right, exactly.
They've come hard. They needed to, with the Suns out by 16 points midway through this quarter.
The Suns
and they've kicked 3 goals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 goals, 5. They've kicked the last 8 scoring shots, the Giants, to wrest control on the scoreboard at least.
Just that little bit of nous too, watching the replay on the big screen. He just had that body touch on Matt Rowell and just nudged him underneath towards the pack and gave himself that separation, Jeff. He's a brilliant footballer, Toby Green.
This is the outer rim of outer rim in the AFL, a transferred game to Ballarat between Greater Western Sydney and Gold Coast, but it is a great contest. The bounce isn't that good, though. We'll get that recalled. I hope you're enjoying it. It's been pushed to the periphery as far as the AFL periphery goes, but people are tuning in because the footy is good and it could shape the 8. Centre of the ground, Mumford battling on hands and knees. He's got Miller over him, he's got Rowell over him, and the ump says, "Oh, sort it out."
As a ruckman, Jeff, seriously, Shane Mumford would be a fearful opponent, wouldn't he?
He got a tap down there. He's responded to, just as I said, he was getting a bath from Burgess, but Burgess robes him there, kicks the Suns to the wing. Bouncing ball, raced at by Perryman. He gathers. Hand passes to Cumming. On the wing, he'll kick the Giants deep to the pocket. Davis got a handle on Holman, slung him out of the way. No free kick. Ball rolls out of play. Throwing in the left forward pocket for the Giants. They've got 2 minutes and 13 seconds left of Mother Nature helping them, Pricey.
You got Phil, Dave. I love his attitude. He's appealing. He was holding, but appealing for the free kick. I do like it. The throw in, Burgess. He slaps it down into the path there, unfortunately, of Tom Green for GWS. He picks the ball up and immediately tackled by Swallow. The players slow to separate. There was a tangle in there of arms and legs. The umpire will throw it up 40 metres out as Will Powell sits on his backside with some assistance from an opponent. Brandon Ellis gets it from the clearance, kicks it towards right half back. Flanders escorts the ball over the boundary line where the paint of 50 meets the boundary line. We'll get a throw in.
So Giants are trying to get another one on the board, whereas the Suns are just trying to hold the ball, just trying to get through to three-quarter time.
Inside 2 minutes to the final change. 7 points the lead to the Giants. Again, Mumford, he stepped up, got the tap down, comes to Kelly, 50 out, kicks it to the top of the goal. Mao through hands, back of the pack. Davis gathers, hand pass to Himmelberg to the pocket for Finlayson, kicks the goal, slapped it on his boot, and that's 5 in a row for the Giants. And the sub, Jeremy Finlayson, has got his first goal of the afternoon. And after trailing by 16 points mid-term, the Giants now lead by 13 points at 8:10:58 to 7:3:45.
That's the one they wanted, and a great kick there from Kelly. It's not hard. You just put it in the right position and give the players an opportunity to bring it to ground, and that's exactly what happens. You just don't know. Create some chaos. It's been inside their forward 50. Feels like the entire quarter. I know that the Suns kicked 2 on the start of this third quarter, but you can see the Suns' backs are tired. So just keep
19-9 now, and it wasn't that one-sided, just the inside 50s earlier on.
And the Suns not taking their shots. 14 shots from 42 inside 50s at 33%, and the Giants 19 from 39 at 49. Been a whistle on play from the restart. And it'll go to the Gold Coast. It's a holding free kick. Markov decides to take the game on. He sprints through, has a couple of bounces, tries to measure a pass and then misses the target. So the Giants will clean it up through Kennedy. Now Connor Iden. Awful handball. Almost missed his hand. Picked up by Holman. He's tackled and bulldogged by Daniels. Literally tackled him and on hands and knees picked him up. Dumped him over the boundary line.
He knew exactly what he was doing, that Holman. He knew he wanted to get to the boundary line.
So it's a throw in next to the interchange gates. Off hands, Kennedy just lobs it forward. Coming through, Hogan, double grabber. He's starting to produce some highlights, Jesse Hogan. Long kick now into the forward line. Himmelberg fisted away beautifully by Lukosius. Over the boundary line, we're going to throw in right forward pocket, but it's the Giants attacking with a minute left to go in the third quarter.
This is looming as the same assignment for the Giants in the last quarter against your D's last week.
It is.
They just had to hang on and hang on and hang on and hang on, and they did the job in the end. And they're in attack, the Giants. Can they get another one here? Throw it in the pocket. Half a chance for the Suns with a hand pass coming free. Tom Green reefed off it. Got it to Daniels, though. Hand pass to Perryman. He's kicked it out on the full. And just 40 more seconds left in this third quarter. Bose is going to bring the ball in from the right back pocket for Gold Coast.
The only difference is they didn't have a 30-kilometre win at the MCG.
But they certainly had to sandbag, so to speak, or park the bus. Now Bose kicks a high ball, which is going to drop like a pin on the right half-back flank for the Suns. It's knuckled in the air. Who's got it at ground level? Well, no one of telling effect. The ump's going to come in as Hopper lays a tackle on Rowell.
Umpire will throw it up now. Mumford down to Kelly. Great smother off the boot there from David Swallow. Kelly regathered though. Gave it to Tom Green. Wheeling onto the right foot inside 50. Now off hands. Gold Coast with numbers though. Ballard tackled by Davis. Could be holding the ball. No. Ball held to him. Left forward pocket will be another ball up with barely 10 seconds to go in this quarter. Thrown up. Mumford. Over the back, Tom Green can't control it. The ball tackled, the boy tackled, I should say, by Matt Rowell. And the ball wrapped up in that tackle. So we're going to have another ball up and only a few seconds to go. They'll have to get it straight onto the boot from hands. Mumford tries that. Doesn't quite work. Siren goes. And at three-quarter time, it's GWS 8:10:58 to the Gold Coast Suns 7-3-45. The Giants lead it by 13 points. That's after the Gold Coast led by 11 at half-time and the Giants led by 9 points at quarter time. So the lead changes with each end that you are attacking with the wind assisted here in Ballarat. 33 odd Ks, the wind with gusts of 40 odd Ks. So it is favouring that end, and the Gold Coast Suns will have that wind in the final quarter.
So Toby Green has 2 goals. Also Harry Himmelberg with a couple. Finlayson a goal. Whitfield, Hill and Lloyd also have the goals for Greater Western Sydney. While for Gold Coast, 2 to Sexton, 2 to Day, and singles to Atkins, Miller and Burgess. Three-quarter time at Ballarat. Greater Western Sydney 8:10:58. Gold Coast 7-3-45. The Doggies and the Swans to come up next from Docklands. We'll give you the team news from there shortly. Richmond and Collingwood to play later on in the day. And there's only one NRL game today. That's later on in the afternoon, about an hour and a quarter away for Cronulla Sutherland taking on the Warriors. Keep your messages coming on the SMS line 0437 774 774. That's 0437 774 774. Three-quarter time at Ballarat. It's the Giants by 13 points. Jeff White will tell you a little bit more as to how we've got here and what's to come in just a moment on Grandstand AFL.
We are one.
Stay connected with ABC Radio. When you want to share your local stories and connect with your community.
We are your local voice.
ABC Radio. Stay connected.
We are Australian.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Handball back to Daniels, who kicks it inside 50. Oh, the bounce favours the Giants. It was Himmelberg back to Toby Green. Tackled, handball back to Himmelberg, and it should be a goal. It is. Chris Burgess from 40 on the right foot, starts it left, it curls back beautifully.
Lukosius kicks to the corridor and sits for Day. Beautifully weighted, dropped on the breeze into the chest of Sam Day. Kicked the goal right on half-time this time. That's a well-executed kick. Swallow stole it. Kelly stole it from him. Rumbling ball inside 50 from the Giants. Results in a juggling mark to Bobby Hill. His right boot works right to left. He's kicked the goal. Kick inside 50, Lloyd leads to the hole and takes the mark 30 metres out. Here's the shot on its way. Goal umpire doesn't move. Brilliant kick from Lloyd.
Now he's going to launch one, Sam Reid, from inside the centre square. It goes to the goal square. Off hands. Oh, Toby Green. It went off hands. He has kicked it in mid-air.
Davis gathers, hand pass to Himmelberg, to the pocket for Finlayson, kicks the goal, and that's 5 in a row for the Giants.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Well, I hope you're enjoying life with us in the outer rim here at Ballarat. Regional Victoria for clubs 17 and 18 who don't have the biggest of supporter bases, but boy, aren't the clubs looking to this venue right now. It's the only footy on right now, and the Giants, with a big surge at the back end of that third term, as it stands, are inside the 8. Nice to have you with us. I'm Quentin Hart with Michael Price and Jeff White. This is ABC Sport. 13 points the lead to GWS at three-quarter time, but the Suns to have the wind kicking to the right of screen or the western end in this final term. The Doggies and the Swans is next up in about 40 or so minutes from now. There are no late changes there. Lockie McNeil is the med sub for the Dogs and Connor O'Riordan for the Swans. So depending on where you're listening to us, if you're on news radio through New South Wales and the ACT, when we wrap things up here, we will take you there. If you're on the Gold Coast or news radio around Brisbane, you can catch that via the AFL app. Just look for the ABC Worm. But Jeff White, 13 points. They needed a head start. And I said, well, it probably needs to be 2 goals. They've got just a bit more than that. Is it enough?
I don't know. Those two goals in that third quarter from the Suns were crucial. And they were, at one stage they were on the back foot, the Giants, but they turned it around. They needed to get some scoreboard pressure, and they did that. So, look, it's just a matter of them containing and holding the ball. When they get the ball, I don't want to see the Giants blazing away, because it'll go straight back into the Suns' hands and they'll whooshka. They'll be back straight in their forward line.
G'day to Fiona from Canberra. As a dual Bombers and Giants member, I'm in two minds today. I always prefer that luck is made through hard work and determination. So for today, go Giants. Loving the old school country feel of today's match. Brings back memories of my water carrying days. Nice to hear from you, Fiona. G'day to John, who says, loading a grain train at Tailem Bend in South Australia, enjoying the broadcast. Go the Suns. Thank you, John. Grant from Waterloo. Hi, Pricey, Q and Jeff. Loving the call as always. Congratulations to Hopper on his 100th. Go Giants. 13 points the lead to Greater Western Sydney. They're in the 8 as it stands. Michael Price, a term to go in the wind at Ballarat.
Mumford versus Burgess. I'll give that one to Mumford. Now Hopper with yet another clearance. 31 touches for him so far in his 100th game of AFL. It goes towards the point of the centre square. Burgess races there in front of Mumford. Slaps the ball to his own advantage. Ellis can't track it in, helping him out, and Kelly pressures the ball over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in on the outer side. The wind is favouring that outer side, blowing straight across the ground.
G'day to John and Jono. Sitting in a boat down at Bremer Bay, squidding, listening to the game in the freezing cold. Squid rings for dinner at JP's place.
Oh, there you go. Callum Murray. There you go. Taranto gets the ball out. It's cut off by Brandon Ellis. Gets it over now to Fiorini. Hooks it around his body to the wing. Sam Day. He was the last to enter that pack and was the first to come out with the ball. Good double grabber from the logo outer side. Kicks it inside 50. Good fly from Ben King. The ball spills towards the boundary line. Sexton, handball back to Ellis. Sexton, that came off his knee. That's a throw. It's a turnover, the Giants. Callum Ward.
From right half back to the wing. Again, it drops on the breeze, and Ballard was well placed at the front of the pack to readjust and take the mark. Chips it backwards to left half back, and Lukosius is there for the Suns. Lukosius, precise, beautiful kick to the edge of the centre square. And Swallow takes the mark, transfers across the centre square. Marked by Powell. Powell, precise with the entry, wide to half forward, running, diving, marking Ainsworth. Gee, this is a tough assignment from right on 50.
He's just got to get at the top of the goal square. Let the wind just kick it out and let the wind bring it around.
Indeed he does. Sets it up to the top of the square. King flies from the side, can't mark. Munford roving at the back. Hands it to Davis. Rushed exiting kick to right half back. Wants the boundary, or does he? Lloyd was in the vicinity. Umpire said not sufficient intent. Oh, word. My word. Lloyd was a matter of 3 metres away. Bowes kicks back inside 50 for the Suns. It drops on the head of Burgess. Mumford makes the spoil, right by Swallow. Hands to Miller, 40 out. What a superstar! Touk Miller kicks the goal for the Suns, and it's a 7-point difference at Ballarat. From current skipper to future skipper, you'd say. And that is the goal that the Suns needed early in this final term. 8-10, 58 to 8-3, 51. Giants by 7 points.
Straight through the middle. Just great poise. Front and centre. Just his turn of speed. Foot skills. Ability to read the play. Great hands there. I don't know who was the
Swallow.
Burgess. Swallow it was too. Great hands in and under.
29 disposals, Touk Miller. 8 clearances, 12 tackles, 4 inside 50s and 2 goals now.
Yeah, outstanding.
And that's after last week. He had 36 disposals against Richmond with 9 clearances. He is an absolute jet, is Touk Miller. And you couldn't get a more respected player in the Gold Coast Suns organisation. Ball bounced in the middle. Once again, Miller belted as he got the clearance and handball out. Towed by Ainsworth inside 50. Taylor tracks it for the Giants towards the boundary line. Ellis comes in. He's had a cracking day too, 30 disposals. Ran over the ball this time though. Kelly picked it up for the Giants, kicked it towards the wing. It's going to be a mark and or free kick to Jack Bowes on the logo on the outer side. He immediately injects it back inside 50. Ben King went up with the fly, couldn't drag it down. Giants with numbers, Haynes, Perryman, Kelly. Scragged as he got the boot to ball. It came off the shins of Lukosius over the boundary line on the outer side. We'll get another throw in.
Geez, Ballard and Bowes have really held up the back line, particularly in the times where they've been kicking with the wind. That's where the Giants, when they get the ball, they've got to lower their eyes. They've got to get some targets and some run from behind.
Jeff White on grandstand AFL. Kelly with the row for the Giants at half-back. Hands to Hopper. Kick to the wing. Out the back. It falls into the lap of Daniels. Toes it in front of himself. Gathers. Has a bounce. Runs to 70. Important entry. It's to the corridor. Well, Powell lost his footing. Hill kept his. He gathers. He's under pressure. And he's towed it over the boundary line on the roll, trying to do an outside of the boot roller. And he hit the wrong part of the footy. But it stays in attack.
It's good pressure there, though.
It was good pressure. But it's worked out well for the Giants.
Sean Lemons might have hurt himself in that chase as well. He was just pulling up a little proppy. Don't know whether he's pinged a string, but we'll keep an eye on that. Giants in attack with this throw-in. Left forward pocket 40 from goal. Tap to the front of the pack by Mumford. Lemons is okay getting to this ball, but he's tackled by Ward. Got rid of it. Play on. Hill picks up. Kicks it. Oh, up and down. The wind pushed it more backwards than forwards. Lukosius has a go in the pocket, can't pick up. Daniels does for the Giants. Hands it to Finlayson. Out the back to Lloyd from 40 out. Spearing ball through the fingers of Hogan, who got there but couldn't hold on. Swallow there in the time of need. Through the hands of Fiorini to Miller. And again the troops are back for the Suns to exit as Miller, well, he kicked it over the head of Flanders. But he's got it anyway as Haynes dropped the footy, lost his footing, and the Suns get to halfway.
Flanders dribbles it towards the wing, and that is gathered by Davis. Belted one side by Holman, one side by Sam Day. It was a cruncher as soon as he got the ball. Actually, it was one in front, one behind. The ball up now. Mumford gets it down through Ash to Tom Green, pressured by Rowell. He kicks it straight up and down, and the Suns have got it covered. David Swallow takes the mark. That's his 24th disposal coming up. He measures one. Just 45-degree kick back into the corridor inside centre square to find Brandon Ellis.
You see they're trying to go. They want to go down the corridor. They don't want to get some down with the wind.
Out to the wasteland on the outer side, Jeff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Ellis decides to retreat inside defensive 50 to Jack Bowes, who was all on his own. Now he saunters off. He kicks to the outer side. It bounces off the chest of Lukosius, who'd broken free. Back to Tom Green. By hand to Kelly. Mongrel kick under pressure. Fiorini can't pick it up either. Finlayson comes in. Gives it to Toby Green. His handball intercepted. It's getting a bit scrappy over the other side. Jack Bowes takes the ball and Daniels takes him to the ground. Get a ball up at the right half forward point.
If you want to message us, you can get in touch via the SMS 0437 774 774. Giants leading by 7 points from the bounce. Out at left half back for the Suns. Ellis gets a hand pass to Fiorini, clearing kick to the wing, marked by Holman. He's going to roll on quickly. Kicks it to Atkins, who's been subbed in for the knee injury to Greenwood. His kick is good. It's a half-forward mark by Ainsworth. Promising ball movement on a blustery day. Ainsworth doesn't go with the entry. Gives it to Atkins. He gives it back to him. It's your problem. You sort it out. He kicks it deep to the pocket. It's a turnover. That was looking good, and then Atkins and Ainsworth made an absolute meal of that, and Taylor's underneath it to take a defensive mark in the right back pocket for the Giants.
A few injuries now from the Suns, just not giving the opportunity for their forwards.
There's the kick towards half-back. Lloyd did well to compete against Ellis at the back of the pack. It's Atkins who chips it back inside 50 for the Coast. Oh, Ben King met Phil Davis front on with a bump, put him on his backside. The ball, in the meantime, was stuck between Fiorini and Taylor. We'll have a ball up 30 metres out directly in front. Umpire throws it up. Mumford slaps it forward. Fiorini with the handball, hoping. Davis gathered. Touk Miller dropped him like a school case. The ball spilt. Could have been holding the ball. Tom Green now. Handball to Kelly. Handball to Callum Ward. He scoops one over to Daniel. They're doing it well. Finlayson scrubs it down the line. Lukosius cuts it off though. He's done it all day too.
Gave it to Bowes. Rush kick back to half forward for the Suns. Beyond the pack. Bounces in the air. Half a chance for Ainsworth out the back in the pocket. Tough angle. Rolling ball to the goal mouth. The bounce is near side. 4 are behind to make it a neat goal of the difference. 8-4-52 trails 8-10-58. It's the Giants leading at the 8.5 minute mark of this final term on Grandstand AFL.
Harry Perriman plays on for the Giants. This kick a little bit more central between corridor and wing. Giants with the numbers there too, but Bowes puts himself in for the Gold Coast. His foot misses the ball. Lloyd gathers for the Giants, tumbles it forward. Toby Green hoping handball into the path of Kelly. He follows it up himself, Wayne Harms style. Toes it towards Kelly. Kelly under pressure from Lemons, and then Himmelberg comes over the top. It's at right half forward for the Giants. We'll have another stoppage. Ball up. Toby Green just continues to inspire his side.
Mumford knuckles it down, but Ellis roves at left half back for the Suns. Hand pass hoping for Fiorini, couldn't grab it. Tom Green's there for GWS trying to battle, just kept in by Fiorini. A little toe poker which goes over the boundary line out on that southern side. And those fans, as mentioned, they've been really lucky to see a lot of footy out there with that northerly/northeasterly breeze, wind, pushing the footy out to that side. Mumford and Day in ruck. Rowell's over it. He's tackled by Taranto as soon as he picks it up. So what have we had? 16 goals in the game, and 4 have been kicked to the eastern end. That's being attacked by the Giants in this term. Lemons tries to dive over the ball from the stoppage, couldn't pick it up. Kelly for the Giants gets a hand pass to Ward. Left foot kick from the wing to attacking 50. Leading out Hogan, got manhandled. Free kick. No. Punched out of play by Ballard and a throw-in.
Touk Miller's just gone to career high 14 tackles. His best was 13. Outstanding game.
He's an inspiration. 31 disposals to go with that as well. Sam Day in the ruck for the Gold Coast gets it down, but it's cut off by Callum Ward. He gave the handball to Tom Green. Inside 50. Bowes punches. Roving Ballard in the pocket. Gathers the bouncing ball and spears a pass into Isaac Rankin, who's made his way down inside defensive 50. He gets the handball back away to Ellis. Kick to the wing. Ben King brings the ball down. Rowell roves beautifully. Balanced player and chisels a pass forward to find Sexton. Now he's going to wheel back into the corridor on the right foot. That's a floating sack of a kick that's picked up by Davis. A mongrel handball from Davis, and it's been turned over. Atkins, now King. He'll curl one from 15 and kick it out of bounds on the full. You're right, Whitey. He had a teammate in the goal square with arms out saying, how's about the handball? But it's out of bounds on the full. The Giants will have the ball. What a waste.
Just needed a hand pass it over and it's an open goal. Bit of composure.
Giants survive, leading by a goal. Ash with the kick in from the left back pocket to half back. Met and caught by Himmelberg. Fine mark. Reading the drop of that pill. He chips it short to Hogan, who marks still on left half back. Kick around the broadcast wing to Hopper. The 100-gamer from the Leighton Whitten Crows. Runs to the wing. Kicks the Giants to a 2-on-2 on attacking 50. Marked by Cumming. Open 50 in front of him. Kicks it to the opposite pocket. Beautifully placed for Reid. Takes the mark. Tough angle. This is a pretty difficult assignment, albeit 45 degrees to the right and 35 out.
Great running there.
So this has got to be what? The fade left to right?
Left to right, yep.
Yep, got to kick it as if pushing it across the face and hope Mother Nature pilots it through. This for a 2-goal lead. Sam Reid on the approach. He does start it right, but it doesn't move. It doesn't get there. Lukosius gets to the drop and takes a mark in the goal line for the Suns.
Seen everything. That's got to have travelled 25 metres, Jeff.
Mishit, but boy.
No, he called play on.
Lukosius does play on. That's a bomb. It lands on the logo on the commentary wing. Big Fist sends it back towards the Giants' direction. Swallow gathers. And Hopper involved as well. He's had a ripping game for his 100th. What's he up to now, Jacob Hopper? 33 disposals. Doing well. Umpires pulled out a free kick here, and it'll go to Hopper, make this 34. Just on cue. He was held as the umpire was throwing it up. 10.5 to go of this final term. There's only a goal the difference. The Giants lead. Hopper decides to play on. Goes himself. Long kick, top of the goal square. Big fly, front and square. Daniels does the fend. Handball, Toby Green. You know what he's going to do. He's going to kick the goal because that's what Toby Green does under pressure. That is his third. The Giants. 9-10-64, now 2 goals in front of the Suns, 8-4-52.
That's a big goal. That's a big goal. That's a great goal too. Just creating some movement. A good kick, centred. Well done by Daniels, just to really create a bit of foot.
Well, the structure, kick it to the big man, Daniels at the front, and the outside finisher was there.
They had numbers.
Beautifully executed.
Just a great
this is the issue in the first quarter. They didn't adapt and they were hitting it too skinny, and then we had a lot of boundary throw-ins when they were in the wind. They've really addressed that. And even though they're kicking in the wind, they're still trying to get it in that central position to give their crummers, Daniels and Green, an opportunity to get some scoreboard pressure.
Well, it's far from the difference, but 3 goals in a game of such circumstances, it's a huge difference. Toby Green with another huge hand again. 2 goals to lead to the Giants. They're inside the 8 at the moment. Mumford taps down to Hopper, who's tackled by Swallow. Got rid of it. Tom Green comes through. Got a boot to it. Not a great effective kick to half forward. Sharp goes hard at the ball. So does Lemons. He picks it up for the Suns. Rush kick to half forward. Comes off. Marked by Sexton. 70 out. Kick to a 2-on-2 in the pocket. Good fist from Iden from the Giants to thump it out of play. Boundary throw in 40 metres from the Suns goal in the right forward pocket.
The Giants backline just have to dig deep, don't they?
Tough day at the office for Ben King for the Gold Coast too. Only the 4 touches, but the Giants backline has been right on top. Now it's Mumford versus Burgess. Mumford got the decisive tap. It was taken there and pushed into the ground, Isaac Cumming, by Matt Rowell. And we'll do it all again. Mumford uses his body to get to the ball first. To his feet, Rowell. Then Callum Ward just shoves a handball out. It's picked up there by Sharp for the Gold Coast, right on the boundary line. He's pushed as he kicked it and gets it out of bounds on the full. It'll be a free kick to GWS. The left back pocket. They're leading by 2 straight goals. So Connor Iden with the ball.
Runs off the mark, through the pocket, and kicks to the half-back flank. Oh, Himmelberg went down, a couple of others went down. No free kick. Burgess picks it up for the Suns, bangs it back from whence it came to the pocket. Rankin somehow roved it from beyond the boundary line. Ball kept in, he's kicked a point.
Yeah, another man at the top of the square there too, just quietly.
Well, he went for the big finish, Michael, but he's missed it. And 11 points is the lead to the Giants at 9-10-64 to 8-5-53.
Now you've got to make the split-second decisions, but Atkins standing there with his hands wide out on the top of the goal square as the ball comes out of defensive 50 for the Giants, leading it by 11 points, and Kennedy takes it over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in on the outer side.
A reminder, if you are with us through News Radio in New South Wales and the ACT. Off to the Dogs and Swans once we finish up here. No changes in that game. Throwing left half forward for Gold Coast. Well, Burgess uncontested in the ruck, tapped down, but only to Tom Green of the Giants. Out the back, Perryman gets a hand pass to Ward, breaks a tackle, gets it onto his boot. It sits up in the breeze on the wing on the outer side from the pack row by Toby Green. Tumbles a 50-60 metre gainer to an open forward line for the Giants. Markov overruns it. Finlayson can't pick up first time, has another go, hands it to Hill, ducks into the Lukosius tackle. They want high. Ump says no.
Lucky.
He was lucky. Ducked into it.
I think that was a good call from the umpire. He's not a tall man, Bobby Hill. He went to ground as well. And on the big screen, there is absolutely no way Jack Lukosius could have done anything else. Nice call, umpire Gluftis. Now she throws it in the air in the right forward pocket for the Giants. Ward tackled, under pressure, got a toe to it, goes up and down on the same spot. Taranto applies the pressure to lock it into that Gold Coast man who got the footy and got swamped as soon as he picked up the pill. That was Lemons. He picks himself up and we have another ball up. Tick over 8 minutes to go. Giants leading by 11 points.
Burgess gets the tap down. Rao can't handle it. He's under a lot of pressure. Slaps it back to Ellis. Makes it his problem. The ball close to the boundary line. Tom Green gathers and he's tackled over the line by Atkins. So we'll get a throw in right forward pocket.
Geez, they're digging deep, aren't they, Giants?
They are certainly.
They sense this massive opportunity for them.
86 tackles to 80 in favour of the Gold Coast. Both sides putting enormous pressure on each other. Now at the foot of that clearance, Oleg Markov dives for a free kick. Ward dives for the ball. He and Rao compete for it. Rao picks it up and he gets tackled into the ground. We'll do it all again. Still inside attacking 50 for the Giants, leading by 11 points. 40 metres out from the goal, and they're kicking into a very strong wind. Gold Coast kicking with it this final quarter. Ellis roves, tackled off it. Kennedy back to Perryman from outside 50 to the top of the square. Hogan has it fisted away from him. Another chance, Giants. Tom Green, handball back. Kennedy, now they exit outside 50. Clever kick from Reid. Back to Kennedy. It goes inside 50. The fly from Finlayson. He doubles up, gathers his own pill, and then very calmly tries to chip it through, but it's intercepted by Rankin. Gold Coast out down the middle of the ground through Sexton.
Takes a bounce to the bullseye. What a play from Rankin. Deep kick. No one home for the Suns. Holman trying to get back. Haynes was going to let it go for a moment. Eventually picks it up in the goal mouth and gathers possession. Hand passes to Taylor. Exiting kick to right half back. Big moment this. Great mark by Perryman with 2 against him. Well, Rankin's play was daring, but the entry for the Suns was poor. And the Giants hold on as the chip goes to Taranto. Out on that southern wing. Taranto just defensive side of the wing for the Giants. Kicks it to half forward. Hogan there, spoiled by Ballard. Ball out of play. 6.5 minutes of playing time to go. We've had 17 goals in the game, and 12 of them have been kicked to the direction the Suns are attacking in this term. But it's just a goal apiece in this final quarter. And 11 points the lead to the Giants. Throwing on the outer side. Burgess and Ward tangle without getting a clean handle on it. Back over the line for a throw-in.
The issue they have here now too is that the interchange is over on our side. The play is on the other side. So getting the interchange happening is really a concern at the moment for both sides because the play's not over here to make those changes.
Yeah, plenty of players been on the bench for good 6-7 minutes now as the ball gets fisted over the boundary line again on the outer side. That's a really good point, Whitey. You can see the players standing just on the bench here in absolute frustration, trying to signal their teammates to get off the park, but very difficult from over the other side. The throw in, Burgess in front of Callum Ward, who's done a good job as a backup ruckman here. Gathers his own clearance, handball there to Tom Green, back to Ward, hard against the boundary line. Little kick favours the Suns, but it's fisted forward. Ellis from a standing start belts it forward on the boot. It dribbles over the boundary line between the wing and left half forward for another throw in on the outer side.
Well, I doubt there's any more than 2 goals left in this game, and if the Suns are to win it, they need to kick both of them. We've got 6 minutes of playing time. There's been 17 goals kicked in the game. Giants by 11 points, throwing out of side. Miller again. Hands through Rankin to Ellis. Clears the stoppage with a hand pass. Met by Flanders. He's tackled by Lloyd. Got rid of it. Rankin gets it. He's tackled. Put it on his toe. Goes inside 50. Mark to the Giants. Taken by Cumming. 40 from the goal. He's defending immediately. He kicks it out to Toby Green on the wing, but it bounces in front of him and goes back out of play. Clock stops with 5:42 left. Jeff.
Some of those Giants backs have stood up
yeah,
exceptionally well in this last quarter. Those marks are just momentum killers.
So the throw in on the outer side. Giants winning the clearances now, 50-35, as both Kennedy and Rankin look to be holding each other. Fiorini exploded past with the ball, but once again, this is what the Giants were doing in the first quarter. This over-kicking over the back of the pack. The umpire's telling one of the Gold Coast players to settle down and keep his mouth shut. It's Nick Holman as Haynes plays on. Long kick towards right half back, and Jacob Hopper. He's had a cracking match. That is, well, this will be his 36th disposal. He's had 10 inside 50s and 10 clearances. Nice way to celebrate your 100th. He'd like that if they could keep going, the Giants. He plays on. It's a long kick down the outer side. Big fist from Collins. Roving well, Kennedy. Ballard put his head over the ball. Came back reeling a bit. It spills to the logo. Taranto after the hands from Green. Comes to Ward. He tries to measure it to Bobby Hill. Good fist away over the outer side. They're just controlling the tempo more than anything at the moment, the Giants.
Time is running out for the Suns and for all those fans of the clubs in and around the 8 wanting the Giants to go down today. A boundary throw-in whistle, and it's going to be a free kick to Gold Coast against Callan Ward, who was in the temporary ruck there against Burgess. He's done his bit today, Burgess, trying hard. He's at left half back. Kicks a high ball towards the left half forward flank for the Suns. King flies, can't mark, out the back. Iden a chance for the Giants, jumps over it, wins the footy. Hands to Hopper, ran into Fiorini, just got it to his toe to get it clear in time. Rowell though for the Suns, hand pass not great. Coming through Tom Green for the Giants, got it to Hopper, who sold to Bork, then kicks from right half back to the wing, but back to Burgess. On halfway, they're going to come again. Michael, it's an 11-point lead to the Giants. 4 minutes and 6 seconds remaining.
Brandon Ellis.
They've got to go direct, though. They've got to go direct. They can't be chipping around.
Exactly right, Jeff White. They have to move it quickly and directly. Brandon Ellis, disposal 39. Inside 50, the pack flies. Ben King got hands to it. Rove by Cumming. Tackled off it. Rowell has a ping from 30. It bounces through. Game on here in Ballarat. 5 points now, the difference. 9-10-64 GWS, 9-5-59 to the Gold Coast. Come the moment, come the great young man in Matt Rowell.
How important is this centre bounce?
Natural footballers, Jeff.
Natural footballers.
In windy conditions.
Yep. Just get it on your boot. You never know what happens.
Well, this is a massive story around the 8 for the Giants, of course, and the Suns trying to back up their win against Richmond. The back end of the seasons has been poor, to say the least, for the Suns under Stewie Dew. But the young gun, Matt Rowell, creates something out of nothing. We're chilly but warmed by the contest with 3 minutes and 42 seconds on the clock in Ballarat, and it's a less than a goal the diff. 5 points the lead for the Giants. Burgess and Mumford set themselves in the middle of the ground. Umpire Luftus looking to set it down and get us back underway. Bit of a wobbly bounce, but she lets it go. Mumford over the top of Burgess, had it, lost it. Hopper roves the pack, kicks the Giants into attack down the corridor. Off the pack, Bobby Hill got a toe to it, but there's a Suns free kick. It's against Finlayson as Powell led him to the ball, and Powell got a push in the back.
Oh dear, and they were almost away again, the Giants.
They've got to go direct though, Suns.
So here's Powell. That's as direct as you can get, Jeff. Straight down the middle. Mumford slaps it down. Off hands. It's a brilliant smother from Bowes. It was actually Ainsworth dribbles a kick towards King. He drops what he might have taken. The Giants have the numbers. It's with Haynes. Little 9-iron doesn't hit the target. Holman, tough as, gets it now to Miller. Miller to Lemons, kicks it to the goal square. Rankin and Swallow moves. He's hit the post. David Swallow has hit the post from the edge of the goal square, but the umpire comes in and says it was a push in the back. It's going to be a shot from David Swallow at the top of the square. It will put the Gold Coast Suns 1 point in front.
What a let-off.
Was it a trip or push in the back?
It was a push in the back, as you can see it. He's got one hand on the 2, one hand on the 4 of David Swallow's 24. But boy, oh boy, he hit the post, dribbling the ball. Now David Swallow comes in, bangs it through, does the Suns co-captain. They're in front by a point. 27 minutes gone, final term in Ballarat. Gold Coast 65, GWS 64.
How big was that? That great contest there from Rankin just to bring the ball to ground, but that kick from Powell.
Are you happy with the call, firstly? Coming in the lower back with the push on Swallow?
Well, it's definitely there. If you extend your arms out and the umpire sees that is a freak. It doesn't, it could have been, I thought he was tripped. That's why I asked if he was tripped.
It gives the umpire the obvious visual.
It does.
Like when you stretch the jumper a tad.
Yeah, if your arms are stretched out, they're going to pay that.
Well, the Bugle's not in Ballarat, but they brought the snare drum behind the goals here at the western end.
They are banging the drums here. So, 2 minutes and 42 seconds left. Suns with 3-1 in this quarter, having trailed by 13 points at three-quarter time. They're in front by the barest possible margin. Mumford, brilliant tap down to Ward for the Giants. From the back of the pack, he kicks a high ball back to half forward, hits the deck, bounces to Ballard of Gold Coast, thumps it on his boot to the spaces at the left half forward flank. Day's chasing, Himmelberg's chasing, Sheeran's rolling, out of play.
That's a good result there for the Suns.
Boundary throw in 70 from the Suns goal. At left half forward, it's right half back for the Giants.
How strong that wind is. That was from the 50-metre arc.
He's a good kick, Ballard. The throw in, cross half forward, Miller. Knocked off it by Mumford, picked up by Hopper, having a ripping game. Approaching 40 disposals, kicks to the outer wing. Jesse Hogan, good double grabber on the logo.
Is the draw on?
It's a big chance. Hogan towards right half forward. The big fly comes from Phil Davis. Front and square. Daniels again. He does this well. Puts on the afterburners. Has a bounce. Chips to the goal square. Straight down the throat of Jack Bowes, who plays for the Gold Coast. And that's not what the Giants wanted.
Bowes' kick is out of bounds on the full. He tried to hug the boundary line in the left back pocket, and he's given... Well, who's the closest Giant? An almost impossible shot. Guess who? There could only be one. There could only be one. It's Toby Green.
Would you put your mortgage on this? I reckon you would.
Man on the mark is right on the boundary line. Green 30 metres out. He's got everything again him here. But it's Toby Green. First things first, he must score to level the scores. Can he kick a goal? It's the right foot banana. He is not a genius. It falls short.
Ballard.
It was online, but Ballard's marked it in the goal line. Game's still not over. Gee, got purchased and it was bending the right way, but then Mother Nature said, no, Toby, you're good, but I'm Mother Nature, you can't beat me.
He applied the angles like Walter Lindrum, didn't he? It was magnificent, but not the distance. It was kicked out and fisted through. Desperation times over the boundary line. Another throw in on the outer side. It's at right half forward for GWS. They trail by a point with about a minute and a half to go. Mumford in the ruck slaps it forward. Young Daniels has been crucial in the last few minutes. Callum Ward pushed in the back by Ainsworth. No free kick. Toot Miller, inspirational through traffic. Got the handball away. He goes back again after it didn't hit the target. Ellis, he gets it off Miller now. Hacks it towards the outer wing, but it's going to come back. Harry Himmelberg's got it on the logo.
On halfway, a high ball to half forward. Ward's going to make good of it. Goes to the front, spoiled by Ellis. Ground level, Kelly put a toe to it for the Giants. Hopper's there, 55 out. Snaps it to the goal mouth. Powell, front of the pack for the Suns. Gets to the drop and takes the mark in the left back pocket.
This is where the Suns have got to get King, Day down the line.
Powell just booms it as far as he can to the outer wing. King's there, off hands, back of the pack, Giants ball. Taken by Perriman, he thumps it back to attacking 50. Hogan a fly, also Hopper a fly. He's down and hurt, ball's on the ground. Fiorini for the Suns, towed it to Ellis. gives it to Rankin, 23 seconds left. Left half back, he kicks to the wing. Here's the last chance, it's gone to Himmelberg. 18 seconds to go.
He tries the mongrel, it came off the hands of the man on the mark. Brandon Ellis picks it up. Still in outside, attacking 50. It's with Taylor now for the Giants, inside 50. Hands from Davis, he chips it to the goal square. It's going to bounce. The siren's gone. The Suns have won by a point. What an amazing finish here in Ballarat. The Giants were pressing and pressing, but the Gold Coast Suns held on cue to finally win by one solitary point.
Hear the song, Suns fans, and then those going to the Dogs and Swans will take you there, but sing along, Suns fans. What a win in Ballarat. Can hardly hear it from the snare drum. Well, that is full time at Ballarat. 10-5, 65 beats 9-10, 64. A huge result for the Suns, 2 in a row, and yet again over the last couple of weeks we get these results, these upsets, which are just creating so much interest in a logjam around the bottom portion of the 8 and just underneath. Mother Nature a huge factor today. Giants had it in the first term, led by 9 points at quarter time. Suns in the second term, led by 11 at the half. Giants in the third term, led by 13 at three-quarter time. And in the end, coming home with the breeze, the Suns got home by a point. 10-5, 65 to 9-10, 64. 2 goals to Sexton, 2 goals to Miller, 2 goals to Day. Goals to Atkins, Powell, Swallow and Burgess. While for Greater Western Sydney, Green kicked 3, Himmelberg 2, singles to Whitfield, Finlayson, Hill and Lloyd. If you are heading to the Docklands, enjoy the Bulldogs and the Swans after the Suns beat the Giants by a point. Oh, now a shot on the big screen of Stewie Dew's reaction. Fist pumping, high fives. Having the last couple of rounds, really, these upsets. Suns did it against the Tigers. The win from St Kilda over Brisbane last night. Essendon starting to get a bit of a roll on. Richmond wobbling. Oh, there's some real life in this season, Jeff.
It is, and we keep saying it's a long season. You know, think back about a month ago, we're talking about the Suns and how bad they were playing, and they felt like they had
3 weeks ago people were going to kick them out of the comp.
Had no spirit. And then they go on and beat Richmond in an outstanding performance, and then just a fight and grit. And we spoke about this before we went on to air about what are we going to get from the Suns today? Is there any consistency? And we saw that from the get-go. They played a really solid 4 quarters. I thought they were very smart. Credit to the Giants, though. They came so hard in that last quarter.
Well, Brandon Ellis had 41 possessions. So too did Jacob Hopper. It was a day where there would have been a lot of touches, but metres gained, well, yeah, stats are stats, as they say. 34 to Miller again, 27 for Swallow, who kicked the telling goal, as it turned out in the end. Bowes 26, Fiorini 26, Hopper 41 in his 100th game for the Giants, 27 for Kelly, 26 for Perryman, 25 for Green. Inside 50s in the end were 59-53, Gold Coast's way, but it really did fluctuate on the breeze. And next week, the Swans and the Giants do battle. Where, we're not sure as yet. Gold Coast are back at home at Carrara to take on the Bulldogs. So they're coming home off the back of 2 tough wins, the Suns, and they'll have something to prove playing against one of the competition benchmarks.
Geez, doesn't that? Giants versus Swans. Wow.
That's a biggie.
Well, that's a biggie. Now they're starting to get big, aren't they? Each and every week they're getting big, and lost opportunity for the Giants today. But geez, the Suns just played well, and it was a good game. It was we knew that the win was going to be a factor, and it certainly was. It was just a matter of who was going to adapt. And I thought the Suns from the outset adapted better than what the Giants. The Giants were probably a little bit frustrated at the fact that they weren't taking full advantage of the first quarter. Everyone's up and about. they just played chip short to the boundary football, and I just they obviously corrected that in the third quarter, but I feel that they lost that opportunity in that first quarter.
Well, excuse me, it looks like we've got 7 clubs fighting for 3 spots now. I think despite Port's foibles, they're going to make the 8 from here, but Sydney, Fremantle, West Coast currently inside the 8. St Kilda level on points with the Dockers and Eagles. The Giants only 2 points behind them. And then Essendon and Richmond only a win outside the 8. There's some really good finals shaping matches to come. And again, a season which has been heavily affected. And we can see the Suns walking around the boundary line in Ballarat. They don't have a huge supporter base, but those that have come today, well, they'll come again because they've seen a team play with some pluck and some spirit and tenacity. They just kept attacking the ball, Jeff, as did their opposition.
Yeah, they did, and you love to see that. They're all going over to Hugh Greenwood, who unfortunately hurt his knee. We'll find out more about that in the coming days when he has scans, but good to see them all going over to him and rubbing his beanie that he's got on. He's all rugged up. But great, and it's just great for country footy. I love that. I love that when you have this, and they're delighted, and they've seen an outstanding game. It was good to watch. It was very hard. I mean, particularly that last quarter, they threw both teams threw everything at each other.
You've got to find some votes.
I have got to find some votes. Yes, to get out from there. But like you said, it's certainly a high possession game for a lot of players, and there's going to be a few players that miss out. But
just before you get to your votes, a reminder that if you're with us on the Gold Coast, heading to Grandstand Rugby League and the leading to Cronulla and the Warriors, that game to be played in about a half an hour from now. If you're on News Radio in Brisbane, back to regular programming. But if you want to hear the footy for the rest of the day, of course, just go to the AFL app and look for the ABC Worm. Early on, it's a goal apiece between the Bulldogs and the Swans. Richmond and Collingwood to come later on in the day. You got your numbers?
I've got my numbers, and look, I go through both sides. I thought the back line stood up really well for the Giants. I thought the back line stood up really well for the Suns, but in the end, you got to pick 3 votes. I'm going to go 3 votes to Touk Miller. 14 tackles, 2 goals, 34 possessions. You know, we've watched him for a number of years now. It's just an outstanding. Some of the hard ball gets he got today were outstanding. Thought Hopper, he carried the side today. He is an outstanding player. He reminds me a lot like the Bont, the Cripps.
It's
that
a big
size,
big-bodied midfielder.
Big-bodied midfielder, and I've heard some people talk about him when they're at training at the Giants that they've found a special player, a very good player. And I'm going to give 1 vote to Ballard. I thought he had 20 possessions, but he stood up, went for his marks. I like to credit backline guys. He stopped a lot of momentum that the Giants were pulling and going forward, and I thought it was, you could put Alice in there as well. Thought Burgess did really, really well in the ruck, but thought Kelly played really, really well. He had 27 possessions and 10 tackles, so you could throw a blanket across a lot of players, but I just look at the ones that stood out and the ones that at critical moments stood up for both their sides.
Well, do we call it a hidden gem? As I said, it's the most outer rim that you get when you've got the Suns playing the Giants at neither team's home ground, out at Ballarat, out in the wind, out in the cold, but it was a terrific Sunday of footy, and we've got more to come. Of course, the Swans and the Dogs are just underway. Richmond and Collingwood to come later on today. So, of course, the AFL app, look for the ABC Worm for the calls of those games. If you are with us on the Gold Coast, of course, Grandstand Rugby League coming up with Cronulla and the Warriors to play in the only game. And then, of course, State of Origin 3 on the Gold Coast on Wednesday. Suns, too good for the Giants by a point, 10-5-65 to 9-10-64. Thanks to Tom in the studio, Aussie on the faders, to Jeff and Michael as ever. It's been a pleasure to have your company. A terrific Sunday of footy in the cold, windy Ballarat.